Yeah, we find her, that beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. Say Gusso, the remix.
DMB, Tux Bites, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes, I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us in your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty who's worth of a lady. It's nice, but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time. Within it took a long fine eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so tough. I felt this sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. And now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes are killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe. Shaped like a Coke bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk, she must be from a planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger, we look good together. Take your place in my heart with your beauty. I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
So the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl, beautiful girl. Yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money, you seen her? Hot Ice, have you seen her? LP, have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMB, baby. Look.
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace of her presents and gifts, call me Santa. Claus, I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours.
cause the girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me ass and picture, I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'ma go get her. Since I'm a go getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh, it's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine, brown eyes. Find me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing tight. I find a beautiful girl.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
I thought you said sound. I thought you said you could hear me loud and clear. I didn't see that. Oh man. Oh, you can hear me now, right? You can hear me now, right? Look at me. I gotta start all over again. I have to start all over again. Clearly, we're doing something right because you guys stuck around and the numbers were increasing while I was talking to myself. Can you hear me now? All right, all right, all right, all right. Shout out to you all for sticking around, for hitting that like button. Somebody said you are now on Audible. Yeah, I've always been on Audible. We changed the name. We're messing around with some things, but yesterday we decided to turn it back around. All right, so you will be seeing some episodes after the fact, maybe 3-4 days late, a little beginning, maybe the first 10-15 minutes of the show uploaded to not just Audible. I'll tell you all the platforms where you can get it. But shout out to you, Zakian, for capturing that. Yes, we are kind of everywhere. We're everywhere, everywhere. We are on Apple, okay, podcast basically. Apple, Audible, Stitcher, Radio, Amazon, Player FM, Backtrack FM. Honestly, a ton of places, okay? At minimum, 20 different places where you can listen to the show, okay? But we can only put up 15 to 20 minutes on any given show. If you want to get the full experience, you're in the right place right now, Facebook or YouTube, okay? All right, so shout out to everyone. But let me do that shout out all over again. Hey, D-Love, good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, Lady Navarre, good to see you again. Good for all, yes. Hey, Isabel, good to see you. Ophelia, I'm seeing that name for the first time. You might have been here already before, but I'm noticing for the first time. Shout out to you. Thanks for coming. Okay. And you did say we can't hear you. I didn't see that. I need to pay more attention. And we have Silly 84. That's the last one I caught. I was like, wait, what? No sound? We're still unable to hear you. Oh, I'm so sorry. All right, so we're good now. Clementina, good to see you, Clementina. All right, awesome. You could hear the background music, but you couldn't hear me. My bad. But yeah, we're going to talk about Alex EKUBO today and his girlfriend, ex-fiance, Fancy Acholono, right? We're going to talk about that today. We'll continue the story because they give us more. And every time they keep talking, they will keep giving us. So again, I was talking about, we come here to talk about relationships, okay? Yes, the celebrities, the rock stars, as they go through their regular issues, like the rest of us. Yes, you too will go through this stuff. Some people will say, oh no, but they don't have the same life as us. Yeah, to an extent. But the truth is that you and I will go through this kind of stuff in different shapes, form, or formats. And I will at least help you comprehend it. I will help you connect the dots, right? And basically, our goal is to extract all the relationship lessons, relationships, power dynamics, attraction, the heart of seduction, and marriage, okay? And if you're going to do Kerewa, you need to understand all this stuff. Oh, no. It's not just only when you get married. Okay, if you're going to participate in any form of Kerewa, okay, Kerewa, but just relationship with human beings, you need to learn all this stuff. Okay, and that's why we'll keep coming back. For as long as they keep giving us material, we'll keep coming back and extracting all the lessons. All right, and that's all we're here to do. So I've got all the the stuff that's been floating around the internet in the past 48 hours. We're going to react to it line by line. I promise today that's the only story I have, but there's going to be a lot in it. Okay, I just know. I haven't read it. We posted some stuff in the group. Just in case you're not part of the group yet, again, make sure you go join the group on WhatsApp. Join the family. Join the Prestige family on WhatsApp. We're building a community together here, one person at a time. Basically, what that means is that we're building people's relationships by one person at a time. Okay, so I have a feeling we're getting ready to hit 1900 subscribers. Let me check. We should be about 2 away earlier, but let me check. Hit that subscribe button right now. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, I need 2 people to hit that subscribe button. Then we're at 1900 subscribers. We're moving very, very fast. Okay. Don't hit it if you're gonna take it off later. Okay. It doesn't matter. All right, but just go ahead and hit that button, subscribe and share. That will let everybody know that we're here hanging out. Okay. So yes, today we're talking about these young lots over here. We're talking about them. All right, they've been giving us tons of materials. Okay, apparently this young lady granted an interview to a blogger. What's her name? Stella something something something. She granted an interview. So they don't know when to shut up, and that's okay because they don't know what they don't know, right? They don't know what we know, right? You and I know that monitoring spirits are monitoring spirit for a reason. They just monitor, some of those monitoring spirits will say, "Speak your truth, girl. Speak your truth." Speak your truth, girl. You're on you. It's a lie. Don't do it. I'm not saying don't speak your truth, but you're not speaking your truth if what you're doing is running to social media to talk. That's not what you're doing. Okay, what you're doing is you might get a little bit of validation here and there, but most likely you will get dragged. Most likely you will be judged. Okay, by at least half of what you observe, and probably will the time you get judged is probably what will occupy most of your brain. 90%. Every time somebody says something negative or disagrees with you or comes off as they're judging you, that will take over your mind. Literally, it doesn't matter if 90% of everything you're watching is positive. The negative will take over your brain. Have you ever wondered why that is? Well, if you're in the situation that Fancy is right now, you're not able to comprehend what I just said. As a matter of fact, you won't hear me. You won't listen to me until you hit rock bottom. Whatever that means for you. For everyone, rock bottom is different from people to people. Okay? But if you don't hit that rock bottom, you're not going to listen. Like, no. A few people say I should speak my truth. What did she say yesterday? She said, I need to be free or something like that. I need to regain my power back. How is she going to do that? She's going to come on social media and respond to as many comments as possible until she's tired. Is that sustainable? Right? Is that sustainable? Anyway, one of the highlights of this that I've seen as headlines, I can't lie to you because I haven't seen the details of what I'm about to read to you and analyze. But one of the highlights is that they were together for 5 years and there was no kerewa. Under the in the name of it's just Christian faith, it's just trying to do the right thing. That's a possibility, by the way. I doubt it, but that's a possibility, right? Some people just have a lot of stuff going on, and sometimes they succumb to, I don't want to say succumb, sometimes they gravitate towards celibacy as maybe it can help them fix the traumas, right? Past traumas, right? Celibacy can help you clear your mind, but it's with respect to where you're coming from. If in fact you've been out here in these streets anyhow, right? Maybe you should do some celibacy because your mind probably needs to be cleared for real, right? But for those who want to just take that as a blanket solution to everything, no, it's not going to solve your celibacy. Is not going to fix your problem because it's just another person's formula that you're trying to carbon copy paste into your life. No, some people act like it's the end all be all. No, not necessarily. Okay, not necessarily. Should you be celibate if you're not married? I think it's a good idea. Why? I don't know. No. Why am I confused right now? Because it's disconnected from purpose. Anything that's disconnected from purpose in the poto or need to more, you're just carbon copy pasting somebody else's solution into your life because it lacks purpose. Particularly because it lacks purpose, you will still be what problem are you trying to solve? You're disconnected from that. You haven't identified that. So how could you solve the problem with some carbon copy paste something? That's you practicing religion. You're going to get the result that most people get from religion. Nothing. At best, hope. You can have some hope. Like, I think that's and I think that's a good thing. Sometimes you need hope, and sometimes religion gives you that in the time being while you're trying to figure things out, while you're praying, right? Helps you with patience, helps you through the process, right? Because everything that's worthwhile in life will be a process. Okay? And it's not the easiest. It's easier said than done to go through that process. And sometimes people are just looking. So maybe celibacy is a form of prayer until you figure things out. In that sense, maybe it can help. But there's more to it. That's my point. There's always some more to it. All right? That's the 3 P's right there. Prayer, patience, process. Great tool if you're confused in life. Great tool. Because you're going to need patience. Lots of it. And prayer can help you through that process. Clarity, some people call it solitude. Okay. You have an end goal, but you can't really see clear yet, but you're trusting your higher self. All right. So that's that right there. But yeah, let's get through this. Before I start jumping through this, Temi T, my G, thank you for the support. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the 17.99 super chat. How are you doing, Temi T? Hope you're doing well. D-Love says very suspicious. I beg celibacy call celibacy ni. Some people, again, it's for some people when they're confused, they have past trauma. Like if it's true that he struggled with sexualities in the past and stuff like that, it's not as easy as live your truth. I can't tell you. There's people that live this kind of lifestyle. The level of the doctors will be able to add context into this. The amount of diagnosis that they have to carry around for their life. It's not bizo. It's a lot. Okay? And they have to keep seeking help, and it's a lot, And it's not all of them, obviously, but a lot of them, they're trying to figure something out. It's not something you can judge. That's why I think it's always a terrible idea to come from the judgmental standpoint. So sometimes the solution they're looking for is not clear in sight. So sometimes celibacy can represent a form of prayer. It's like losorioke, it's like solitude, right? To clear your mind. But 5 years and you're inside of an active relationship, why? Right? If you're going to do that, if you're going to play that celibacy game, if you're going to play that virginity game, you should not be courting for no more than 6 months to 1 year. Because number one, you're at best you are trying to tell me that you're doing it because you're doing it for God or to not sin. Then you should not put yourself in a position to sin. Your courtship should not more than 6 months to 1 year at most. And by the way, if no one was tempted, if you didn't touch breasts by mistake, at least in that period of time, that's a red flag. Okay? Like mistake, like no, baby, like no, I don't want to. You know what we brought? Okay, all right. If you don't have those moments, that's a red flag. Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
All right. You should have those moments. You should be sexually, kerewali attracted to a person you're about to do life with in a romantic way. Okay? Don't deceive yourself. Oh, it's just that self-control thing that he has. Like somebody just said here. Yeah. Dila said, Lorira, he did. Shola said, but he cheated on her during their celibacy. That's what she said, right? That's what she said. So I think that's what the story that we're about to analyze will say, right? It's a bit late here and I'll watch the playback tomorrow. Awesome. Good to see you, Temi T. Hey, Favor Ibo. How are you doing? Emmanuel. Shout out to you, Emmanuel. Sounds like my brother. Thank you. How is he celebrating cheating on his fiancée? He found an innocent girl to pray. He knows she's not a typical Niger girl, and he capitalized on it. Are you a woman or a woman or a man? Because sometimes that's a last name or surname, I should not they call them. Which kind of celibacy? Yeah, no two. Does that mean yeah? Yeah, she said he did, and she caught him. Okay. I know a few celibate people. They have chosen abstinence from men and women. Ah, Mijiji. Okay. I know what you mean. You're trying to make it all inclusive sentence. They claim to have attained solace. Yes. So if you're coming from a certain troubled mind, troubled past, or something like that, it can help. Okay. If you're just carbon copying pasting the formula of celibacy into your life, it's not that anything is wrong with celibacy, it's everything is wrong with purpose. You don't have it. You will just could make sense. No purpose could make sense. Anything in life, literally. Okay. No career for 5 years. Sure you dey whine me ni. I have a question for you before I get into this analysis, by the way. Let's see. I'm scared of dating. Too many red flags to watch out for. Temilade, I know. I saw a comment from you, Temilade. I think it was on the shorts. Yes. Shout out to you, Temilade. Good to see you. I know. Just keep coming around. And we keep talking about this, and eventually your mind will start reshaping around the idea that this is just something that you don't really have a choice. Anyway, you feel a lot safer because not only would you still know the red flag that you know, because you can't unknow what you know, but you'll be able to pick out green flags. You'll be able to understand normal human behavior and which ones can be mitigated, which ones can be alleviated, which ones can you deal with. If you notice that 9 out of 10 human beings behave a certain behavior that you guys would typically call narcissists, maybe you will now approach it from a standpoint of how can we live together, get along, in spite of the fact that most human beings have these things, right? As opposed to, no, avoid this, like you said. If all you see is red flag, you will be avoiding literally almost every human being. It's working badly for most people right now, you know. Chiye, good to see you, Chiye. You're not that late. You're here. How you doing? Hey, Gorex Corner, how are you doing? Good to see you. Please, there should be a legalized alphabet community in Nigeria so that some of these guys can come out to be who they are. They don't have a choice. What they have right now is not sustainable. The community has always been there. It's just where most people are learning about that for the first time. Okay, they've always been there. They're in the Bible. Okay. You don't like to hear that, but it's the truth, not truth. They've always been there. All right. It's the reality of human experience. But of course, the more you go into the past, the more harmful it was for them to be people like the rest of us, you know. And that's sad, but that's where we're all coming from. I want you to think about it this way. Once upon a time, it was also very dangerous to be a black person randomly walking around the street. Who's your Olua? Especially in America, in South Africa, and basically anywhere in the world. But you also need to understand that slavery was practiced virtually everywhere in the past. It's just part of our history as human beings, you know. But we're talking about relationships, okay? All right. Let's see. Temilade says, I'm team celibacy. That's awesome. Okay, I'm sure you have your purpose. As long as you identify a purpose behind that, it makes sense. It makes sense. It's like fasting. As far as I'm concerned, it's like fasting, right? It's like staying away from drugs of choices. One of the drugs of choices. We talked about the internet. The internet can be a drug of choice. Sometimes you should shut it down for a few days, just so you can reset, right? That's how I see it. I don't see it as it has some supernatural thing that will suddenly make the whole world perfect. No, the world is never going to be perfect for anybody, all of us, okay? It's about learning how to navigate life. You learn that all you can do is navigate life, you increase your chances of having an awesome life and a life of love. Just like that. Just like that. Just, by honest, like it's not that deep, right? But because we're spiritual beings, things like fasting, prayer, celibacy can work, especially if you have troubled past, or experiences that makes you, question everything. Walking around life questioning everything is not. It's not a good way to live. Looking over your shoulder everywhere you go. No, there's no point to life if you have to live like that. The way I see it. She said, "I did can't be." It's as old as human itself. Particularly, shout out to Temila Day Adams. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you all so much for supporting. Hit that like button. Hit that like button right now. Okay. Everyone, please hit that like button. All right. Eunice, good to see you. Hey, Eunice, how are you? Right. So true. Started in the Bible, it's evidence, generation after generation. The alphabet community will always be here. Yeah, people that overreact to the alphabet community are lame. They're lame people. Period. I said it. Yes. But we are simply speculating that he is G. There is no definite evidence confirming it. Which one? Which one is G? I do agree though, the sooner the acceptance, the sooner people will be free to be themselves instead of being on the down L and potentially lying to people. People are going to be people. People will continue to evolve or devolve, whatever your choice of words are. The world is never going to be the same on a constant. The change is the only thing that's constant. All right. Yep. So, Timilade says, thank you, Mr. Ola, for pouring into us and learning a lot. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for that testimony. Thank you. I appreciate you. All right, so let's get into it. Let me make this a little bit bigger and let's get going. Where should we start from with these people, right? So let's bring us up to speed small, right? Let's bring us up to speed. What happened over the past few days? This young lady came out and said, hey, I apologize to my ex-fiance for putting out there, we don't make sense apart. She put a t-shirt out, t-shirt that they were both wearing, we don't make sense apart. I think less than 48 hours later, she came back and backtracked everything she said. She said, no, F that. I'm not going to use curse words because I want to keep the platform safe. Okay? She said, F that. F that. No, I'm free. I need to live my truth, right? I need to speak up for myself. How is she going to speak up for herself? She's not going to speak to real human beings. She's going to speak at the phone. And destroy her own life and her ex-fiance's life even more. At least temporarily. Their life is not destroyed. Okay? Their life is not destroyed. Let's stop the cap. Okay? Let me stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
Their life is not destroyed. Okay? No, it's not true. But temporarily, this is going to tamper with their mental health. That's a fact. With their emotional stability. That's a fact. Okay? And for the rest of their life, maybe not for the rest of their life. They might normalize it at some point and be like, oh, it is what it is. If they take the right steps. But for a while, for the next few years, this will continue to tamper. Every time they remember this experience, it will tamper with their emotional stability. And that's the sad part. And that's why I want you to be aware when you get out here on this internet and somebody says, speak your truth, be guided. Or somebody say things like, all publicity or good publicity, be guided. Not necessarily. Mental health is involved. Your emotional stability is involved. Okay? All right. So they had some messages that they posted. Their messages leaked into the internet. Okay? But this was the interview. Okay, let me see if I can find a more clearer version of it, because I did upload. Somebody uploaded this for me, a 682 number. I don't know who that person was, into the group. Thank you for that person for helping us find this information. But let's just start from here. Okay, let's just start from here. So it says, focus on people's reaction but evaluate his actions too. I also pray he learns to be real and more of giving with his next of more on giving. Okay, they ask her a question. Basically, they're asking a question. There was an interview. So here's what I want to do. Okay, I'm gonna go find. I think I should have it handy very easily. I think I should have it handy really quickly. Go to Stella Domokos, something like that. She's a blogger. Shout out to her. I'm gonna go there, and I could never pronounce her last name. I followed her for a while actually. Stella Damakokos or something like that. Some like that. Stella some. Stella, okay, I found it. Let me share that. That post is what I'm gonna share with you. Okay. And she's actually pinned this to the top. Okay, perfect. I'll rather share that one because that way we can also shout out to Stella, the blogger. Share screen. Okay. There you go. Share. All right. There you go. Awesome. Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm just gonna read. It's good that we have it like this. So this is an exclusive interview with actor Alex EKUBO, US-based ex-fiance Fancy Acholono. Okay. Again, shout out to Stella Dimokokos, something like Dimokokos, something like that. Yeah. All right. So she tells Stella that she did not break up with Alex because of his sexuality, and explains a lot of things, including their chats that leaked. What chats leaked, right? Maybe we should look at that first, right? Before we continue. Okay. I think it's important that we look at the chat first before we continue. Hold on one second. Very, very important that we know what we're talking about. So I just found out too that there, one second. Pardon me. See here. Share screen. Okay. All right, great. Almost there. I promise. Okay. There you go. All right, great. All right, so I think I found it. There you go. All right, so what leaked? This is the text. Okay, that's what I had on before, essentially, right? This message right here. So their message leaked into the internet. Apparently, she had a group of people, of friends, people that told her, speak your truth, and she shared some things. And anytime people can munch your message, you should not be sharing emotionally charged, even if you're right. Remember, I keep telling you, you're always right. Keep telling that, okay? That doesn't mean you're not going to collect.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, you're always right anyway, because your perspective is what you can see. Most of us that were here listening to me right now, we're not trying to be wrong. We're trying to do the right thing, but it's also based off of our perspective in that moment in time, our viewpoint, right? It can actually be wrong, but based off of your viewpoint, you're right. And if anybody told you in that moment that you're wrong, you're like, are you mad? Right? So she was trying to speak her truth. Everybody says, speak your truth. A lot of people believe that they're actually helping when they say speak your truth. But what happened? If people can munch it, like they say it in Nigeria, we call it screenshot. If they can screenshot it, Yes, even if it's just your wife or your husband that you send it to, especially that. You should not be having an emotionally charged conversation over text message. Gentlemen, especially you should not be texting arguments with your wife. Okay? She's going to screenshot it and share it with her sister and brother, blood people, before she realizes that both of them don't collect, before she calm down. And those people will never forgive what they feel from that. She might forgive you. Most spouses will actually forgive you, but family members never forgive. They have a hard time forgiving, okay? It is what it is. Ask me why, I don't know. It doesn't matter. You just need to learn how to navigate this thing. That's all you need to learn, okay? This is the same thing across the board, okay? Because people are caught up in their emotions. It is what it is. Why would they screenshot something like? Because they are caught up in their emotions, entertaining that moment. They still want to share a gist. That's all they wanted to do. Before you need, they share with the chain reaction. It's end up on the internet if there's enough interest. So obviously there's enough interest in any story that has to do with Alex EKUBO. But what does it say? It says, "Hey Alex, for the past 5 years, I thank you for the time we've spent together. I wish I could tell you this on the phone, but you've refused to answer my phone for days. Now, because you're upset about the fact that I won't agree to overspend on the wedding." All right. What do we get from that? Somebody's like, "Oh yeah, but he wouldn't pick up. She had no choice." Self-control. Especially if you're a man, okay? Self-control. You don't get to give yourself that excuse, okay? You'll collect it. All right? Self-control. You're just going to have to wait. If you are that valuable to that person, they will come back. They will creep their way back. Something will happen. And if you're valuable to yourself, you're okay being alone. And we've all had moments when we don't feel valuable to ourselves. Okay? We've all had it, all of us, every single one of us, where you feel a little bit insecure. All right? What do? You snoop around, you're looking, you just want them to talk to you. Rejection breeds obsession. You just want them to talk to you, right? That you just need to relieve that. That's that urge, right? So I can understand it, but nonetheless, we see the result of all of this, right? Even though we can understand it, right? So don't tell yourself that. Also, the other thing you can take from that statement is that he's the kind of guy that shut down when he's upset. That's a terrible leader. Okay? We've all been there. It doesn't mean he can't become a better leader. For those of you that say people never change, no, they do. A lot of people can change. It's called growth. Okay? It's, as a matter of fact, it's a basic human emotional need. Okay? It's one of the 6. You see that on the screen? Number 5 is growth. So when you say people never change, slow your roll. You're speaking from arrogance, ignorance, and the core of a person's personality, yes, may not change from a personality standpoint. Temperament, to a large extent, may not change. It can be managed. Okay? But personality, yeah. But again, you can learn how to navigate it, because for every type of personality out there, there's a positive to it, there's negative to it. So what are we talking about, right? All right, good. Let's keep going. As you can see, I knew what I was doing when I separated today for this, because I knew there was so much material in this, right? Anyway, I'm reading it for the first time. Keep that at the back of your mind. I won't agree to overspend. So she was trying to manage money in terms of their wedding, and typically is the flip side. The woman is trying to spend, okay, and the man is like, do we really have to spend, right? From my experience, my personal experience, typically is the flip. Is the flip of that. Is the woman who is not paying attention to what she's spending as much as the man. But when we're in this situation where the woman is trying to put structure around their spending, that's out of order. I'm sorry. Based on our social construct, it's out of order. Okay? She has to be masculine in this context. And he's like, no, I'm just free like a bird. I'm Mother Nature. I just flow wherever it's open as long as there's no dam. Right? That's out of order. I can already see some red flags there, right? All right, so I've always believed that the marriage is more important than the ceremony, which is why I've been pushing for a small, intimate wedding. Wow. Wow, kudos to her for that. I understand your industry. Here's the industry. He's the keeping up with the Joneses. People practice it everywhere. All the tech people are practicing it right now. If you're a tech person, yes, the one that's making two six figures, 1.5 6 figures, and you're feeling yourself right now, you're keeping up with each other, keeping up with the Joneses, and it's going to backfire. I know many of them. Okay, 6 figures is broke. Okay, you're not rich. You're not high value based on the marketplace. Well, what are you talking about? That's only 5-6% of the population. You're missing the point. There's a good chance that you live in a place where the standard of living is not high enough, especially if you're going to be keeping up with the Joneses. Well, he's in that industry. Well, what am I trying to do here? I'm trying to let you know that this same concept is applicable anywhere you are, where there's a group of people. You have that person that's trying to keep up with the Joneses, and you have the other person say, like, wait, let's be resourceful care now, right? I prefer that the man is at least inclined enough to understand that as a weakness if he has this weakness. If he's completely unaware that this is a weakness, that's bad. That's very bad, and it will backfire. Sometimes it's the woman who can be the financial, leader, who understands, who is very, sometimes it's like that. But the man needs to at least be able to recognize that as a weakness on his part and a strength on his girl's part. That's part of leadership. Okay. All right, let's keep going. She wanted a small, intimate wedding. I understand your industry and how looking good is important to the outside. Branding, packaging, right? For an example, seeing your priority to spend money on a doctorate degree, just look good. While we have so many expenses and issues on ground, like where we're going to live and how we're going to afford this wedding, is something I can't comprehend. By the way, I canceled the hotel. I can't support you doing this. It doesn't make financial sense to me. Remember that he hasn't spoken to her for a few days. He's shut down for days. He's not answering his phone for days. And this person was trying, okay? We don't know if this is truth. We're just going by what we're seeing, right? This person was trying to lead a family. Only work. Okay, only work. But this is going to bite them in the butt. By the way, most people will go through something like this in one shape or form. And then it will backfire somewhere around between 2 and 5 years. It's a backfire. All right, sorry about that. We should be back on now. All right, somewhere around 2 to 5 years, maybe to 7 years, it's a backfire. This behavior will come up, and at least one person will resent at least the results of these behaviors. Okay, let's keep going. All right, so for an example, okay, we've gone past that, where they're going to leave. By the way, okay, she canceled the hotel. I understand packaging in your world. She's trying to, but she probably doesn't really get it, right? I understand packaging in your world, but for me, I prefer to keep my money and invest and make sure we have a home to live in. So please, don't think I don't want to spend anything. She's even still begging. Ladies, it's okay if you're trying to help your man in this way, but if you notice this is a repetitive thing, it's not sustainable. You will not be able to respect him. Remember, you don't necessarily choose to respect. It's earned. You may like them enough to be respecting them or look like you're respecting them, but This will end in the poto poto last. It's not sustainable. Okay? Just letting you know, if you notice this type of behavior, it needs to be addressed as soon as you can, in the best way you can, leveraging your seduction skills. It needs to be addressed. Okay? It's just not sustainable. You're not capable of respecting a man that's fully in his feminine energy. If you're a typical woman, there are exceptions, of course. All right, good. I've given money towards it already. I'm just more focused on holding on to the money I have for after the wedding for us to get a home. Somebody will now come and say she's masculine. Tell her, uncle. Of course. She's the one bringing the safety, security, order, and structure into your context. That's literally what masculine energy does. And then you're wondering why she seems aggressive. She won't be aggressive because this is where she's at. That's the environment. That's the weather. That's what the weather requires. It's like somebody driving in the middle of a snow blister, and you're like, why are you so careful? Dude, they have to protect themselves. They can't act like they own the world. Because one extra little slide like this, you don't hit another car like that. It's bad. So naturally, she will protect herself. Naturally. If she feels the need to protect herself, meaning she doesn't feel safe and secure, she will be masculine, precisely. Okay? And if she's masculine and you're asking her to be feminine, you are literally in your feminine energy. It will get worse. Literally. Okay? Okay? Can you influence her to flip back to a natural order of her essence in this social construct? Yes, but it's not by asking. Okay? It's going to be a lot of self-reflection, patience, okay? More patience than you probably have right now, okay? Yes, it's going to be easier said than done because you're already damaging the sexual polarity, okay? By the way, do me a favor. If you have any moment of like that, like a 30-second I said something that you think was fire or anything like that, after every show, write them down. After every show, write them down and let me know what mark where I said it by just saying the minutes. So for example, if the minute where I said it is 12 minutes or 30 seconds later, you could put 12 colon 30. And then you said what I said. I won't be able to grab that as our shorts, okay? If I said anything that you find value in. Also, if I said anything, find one thing that I said anything that's valuable to you. That will be a great point where you can super chat no matter how small it is, okay? All right, so thank you for that and thank you for all the support thus far. Let's see here. I'm just more focused on holding on to the money I have, she said. You met a girl who is more focused on looking good in the inside, which is where I'm finding our disconnect in this moment. Since the day I met you, I've been dedicated and loyal to you. I've accepted you for who you are as a person. I even accepted the things that I've never thought I would, all in the name of love and loyalty, especially the fact that you never wanted to be intimate with me. Bruh. I need my bro sound effect. Bro, are you kidding me? Never wanted to be intimate. With me, I accepted your choice. She had to accept the choice. At least you would agree that's a misalignment. Okay? You would agree that they're not aligning. They're on two different dimensions. They're unequally yoked when they are not equally yoked. Is that how you say that? Something is wrong. This is the point where I'll say you're right. Compatibility is necessary. Okay? Like, dude, especially for 5 years, right? She accepted his choice and said, I'll be patient and wait until marriage, but it's been 5 years. and things are just not right in my gut. This is not normal, and I have woken up. Man, it's bad. All those things are sacrifices that I have made in the hopes that we would have a great marriage. But to see your priority is more about the look of it and the wedding, it, I guess, shook me that the outcome of my sacrifices I've made will not be. All right, so when you're making your sacrifices, just keep at the back of your mind that there's another human being involved. That's all I ask you, you know. It's another, and sometimes you make sacrifices. That's just the reality of life, right? And when you make the sacrifices, understand that you're making it for yourself. Identify the value you're looking to achieve by making the sacrifices. Purpose, like I said earlier. And if that has anything to do with satisfying another human being purely, if that's just how you feel, if you feel like it's purely satisfying them, stop immediately. Stop it immediately, because could it work? You will end up resenting yourself. What do you think was happening yesterday when she was going back and forth with a bunch of strangers? She was resenting herself. She was trying to reverse the hands of time. But that only makes it worse, right? All right. So I don't know if this is exact continuation, but I'm just going to read. Getting married to you and I'm calling the wedding off. Okay, so let me see. She said, I've made will not be. Okay, she said that the outcome of my sacrifices that I've made will not be this continuation, getting married to you, and I'm calling the wedding off. I hope you understand and respect my decision. There's no bad blood. Yes. My bad. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. All right. I am so sorry. It's been 5 minutes, right? Hey, Chai. Yeah. Can somebody tell me the last comment that she made that I was responding to? Anybody want to tell me what that last comment was? I'll go back there. My bad. My fault. Let me see the last comment. Look on the board. Look at the board. No audio. Look at the board. Let me see. Now, I did read and hear correctly about her paying for her own wedding, Wahala. And then we started hearing no audio. What was the last thing that you guys heard? Can anybody tell me? She has canceled the hotel. Thank you. Thank you for that. All right. My bad. I usually have all this monitoring things, but yes, thank you so much. Yes, we're gonna grab 2 admins over the next few days. Okay, thank you so much. All right, but thank you so much for that, for getting my attention. Let's get back to it. Somebody said you need to engage your live chat more often, Mr. Allah. You might need an assistant to help. I know. We're gonna do it. We need to be doing this together. But let me get back to the before. So where I stopped was her canceling the hotel, right? So let me do this. Let me get back to Chai. The comment is long. Okay. All right. So let me get back to here. Using her keyboard to express her pains. Yes, I said that. Yep. When you publish your pains like that online, you literally have no control how it's pawn out. It can get out of hand. Yes. And that's precisely not speaking your truth. Okay? You're probably putting your best foot forward like the rest of us. You're probably capping heavy because you're speaking your own story only. Okay? All right. Yes, that was Ice. Yes, you're right. I don't know why I didn't know that. Her number was she was 682. Yep. Let's see. I don't think the way she's going about it is the right way. A long line in life, she might regret the way she handled it. In my opinion, yes, she will. But there are certain tools she can engage. Eventually, maybe about 5 years from now, this will just be another story in the past. Okay, and that goes to the rest of you. If you had some experiences in the past that you feel like you regret your actions in the past, that can absolutely fade away into the past. Okay, you just have to create new experiences, and that will fade into the past. Not that you will forget, it's just that the new experiences will overwhelm it, right? So that's the part I disagree with him about. It's very selfish if indeed he is what he's been alleged and he's misled her. No, he's a cold-hearted personality. What we've read so far, yeah, that when he's shut down, when he's shut off, is done. Okay, and if he's a guy that has troubled past, it's not something he's necessarily doing intentionally. It's kind of intentional, but not intentional. But this kind of persons, you just want to know that they need help. Okay, you don't want to over engage it, but they're just being wicked. If you think they're being wicked, you're probably over engaging that. Okay, that insight, that conclusion will actually hurt you emotionally. Okay, so that's why you have to try your best to look at things. When you're in this place of crisis, you need to engage objectivity. You need to be objective. It's not necessarily about you. This is their own weakness. Okay, that's why this is the same more reason why you shouldn't be anybody's therapy. You can point them in the right direction and say, hey, you need some help. This is not healthy. What do you mean that's not healthy? Well, it doesn't feel healthy to me. I don't feel right. Nothing good can come out of it if you don't feel right, you know? No, hon, not sure how she was with him for 5 years dry and Kiriwa less. It's inhumane to me. Ha! Our celibacy gang go in the room. Oh. Some people, they can do it. Oh. If the ideology they subscribe to is that strong, yes, some people can do it, you know. And I know, right? Zinni Gist TV, shout out to you. She says, so selfish of him to keep that bola to himself like that. But, you know, the rumors, maybe we'll see it in the chat in a second. Here's that he was sharing it with other people. I didn't get to that part yet, but I saw some stuff around about that. Not all of us, it folks. Not all of us, it folks. Me, I know they spend money anyhow. I know you're just generalizing. Yes, I was generalizing. But spending money anyhow is not what I meant particularly. What I meant is that the man is typically more, what's the word? It's much more particular about keeping the money around. Doesn't mean the other person is overspending or spending anyhow. It's just that the man is watching his money, especially if you're going to spend most of the money, right? That's what I meant. There are a lot of women that won't just spend anyhow, right? And the idea that you're right. Thanks for the correction. Women just don't walk around and let me just spend anyhow. That's not how that works. I was just talking with respect to the other person. That's what I meant. Yeah. Shout out to you, Gores. Shout out to you. Hey, shout out to Money and Wealth Conversations. Good to see you. Good to see you. Temilade says, I can't even afford to spend $500 for my wedding. I have better things to do with money. See, exactly. So especially nowadays that people are more educated and they're more inclined to better ways of spending their money, including women. Yes, of course. So thanks for that correction. Yes, I was generalizing, kind of. Mario says, Enitio Jeonkano to first stunt. Enitio Jeonkano to first stunt. Silly man. They couldn't have worked too many issues on both sides, plus the hippopotamus in the room. Hey, chai. You should never help someone to their role. They either get it or they don't. Exactly. You know, exactly. It looks like we had a bot. Okay, hopefully D-Love helped me block that already. Thank you so much, D-Love. Probably, right? Yep, they're gone. Thank you so much. You're right. I should be. Look at me and I'm showing it. May God help us. What did I miss, yo? What have we concluded? Nothing yet. No conclusion. Fignet, shout out to you. And shout out to you, Tiffany. Why is she hell bent on marrying him despite all the flaws she highlighted herself and their differences? It's low self-esteem, low self-worth. Okay? That's why I keep saying work on self. And you work on self, you just, it's not a directly you're doing thing. It's just certain energy cannot be around you. It will be ejected. You get what I'm saying? It will take no effort for them to be ejected out of your life. This goes for both men and women. Okay? Certain types of energy can't be around you. And there will be more than enough human beings because you'll be around them too. But that's part of working on yourself. The circle, right? You'll be around it. There will be more than enough human beings that you can hook up with and do life with. Okay. If you're spending time around the wrong people, that's that much time you're spending away from the right people. Because there's only so much of you to go around, right? Either emotionally, physically, in any other aspects of life. All right. So that's why. All right. I'm looking at the time because I got to get back to the analysis. Fancy got interviewed by a blogger and she referred to the text message we are reading now, accusations of him being, that's what we're doing. Okay. That's what we're doing. Thank you so much for bringing us up to speed on that. And then I went mute. So let's get back to, no, let me read some more recent ones before we, right. So we're going to get back to she canceled the hotel. You need to engage your, okay, we got that. Thank you so much for that. Fancy, there has to be one or two available men in this here abroad. My God, this can't be real life. Tiffany, if everything that is being alleged is true, Fancy requires deep mental help. Who in their right mind will be okay with settling for a man like this in the name of what? Love? Get out. No, it's definitely not love. It's low self-esteem. It's lack of self-love, particularly. Okay. And there are many women walking around, and men, by the way, walking around with lack of self-love. Okay. And some of them are the loudest people on social media. Some of the loudest people on social media literally is the direct symptom of low self-esteem, lack of self-love, and lack of self-respect. Okay. She definitely have low self-esteem. She will tolerate anything to be married to him. Hopefully she will engage the help she needs. So let's get back to the analysis. All right. I promise I'm looking now. Okay. I promise I'm looking. All right. And also there's some keyboard shortcuts here that I need to be careful for. Sometimes I may touch the wrong key and it will mute me. So, and I was muted on two sides earlier. That's why when I turned it off, I was still muted, and even though the red is right there in my face. But we're back to it. Let me stop the shalaye immediately. Let's get back to it. All right. So she canceled the hotel. Let's find that. Okay. Okay, cancel the hotel. Long, Jesus Christ. Since the day I met her, dedicated, accepted the things I would all in the name of, and said I would be patient and wait until marriage, 5 years. All these things are sacrifices that I've made in the hopes that we would have a great marriage. But to see your priority is more about the look of it and the wedding, it showed me that the outcome of my sacrifices have made will not be getting married to you, and I'm calling the wedding off. I hope you understand and respect my decision. There's no bad blood and no anger in this message. I'm calmly saying this will not work, and I wish you all the best, and feel free to communicate with me on how. Okay, I think we went past that. And it's concerned, let me see, cancel. Let me see, is that before this? Wow. By the way, I canceled the hotel. I can't support you doing it. It doesn't make financial sense to me. Are you sure that's way back there? Let me get some message. Is that where we are? Cancel the hotel. Are you sure that's the last time you hear? Let me hear somebody say, let me see somebody say yes. And then I will start from there. I found it. But is that where we stopped? Shout out to FickNet. We got a new member. The membership is open. Thank you so much, FickNet, for the support. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Is that where we are? Let's see. Shout out to you, Glamola. Good to see you. Are you sure that's where we were? I was past there, right? I was past there. Okay, so somebody wants to bring me up to speed. Where was I? Did we get to the part where he responded with his only concern was Antitoyin, right? His only concern, did you get to the point where his only concern was Antitoyin? Oh, we didn't get to that yet. Okay. Let me just let's get to that. All right. All right, good. All right, we're gonna I gotta make sure we extract all the lessons in this. So let's keep going. All right, so we went past that. By the way, I canceled the hotel. I can't support you doing this. It doesn't make financial sense to me. I understand packaging in your world. So packaging, right? We already talked about that. It's obvious that that's his only concern. Whoever wrote this piece, right? Whoever they're talking to, right? I understand packaging your word, but for me, I prefer to keep my money and invest and make sure we have a home to live in. So please don't think I don't want. So we already went past that because that's what I talked about. That's when I generalized that women are typically the one who is not too engaged with the every details of the money. The man is supposed to be at least aware that that's a weakness. At the very minimum, he needs to be aware that if I'm a spender, remember we talked on AntiV's platform yesterday, we talked about Pastor K, who understands, he's self-aware that my weakness, I spent anyhow. So what does he do? He said, my wife, take care of all the finances. That's leadership. Part of leadership is understanding your weaknesses and learning how to mitigate or alleviate it, right? All right, cool. So we talked about that. You met a girl who is more focused on looking good in the inside, which is where I'm finding our disconnect in this moment. Since the day I met you, I've been dedicated and loyal to you. I've accepted you for who you are as a person. I even accepted the things that I've never thought I would, all in the name of love and loyalty, especially in the fact that you never wanted to be intimate with me. I accepted your choice and said I would be patient and wait until married, but it's been 5 years and things are just not right in my gut. This is not normal and I have woken up. That's a long ass sentence. All right, so what did I say here? Basically, if you're going to end up resenting accepting a person, don't do it. Okay? All right, don't do it. It's not worth it. Okay? If you're going to end up resenting what you accept, don't do it. Now, granted, it's not always that you know that you will end up resenting it. Sometimes you think it's just sacrifice. After all, we have a bunch of lame men generalizing and asking people to just sacrifice blindly. Yes, we have them. They are everywhere. Okay? It's only when they want to point the fingers. They're not paying attention to when they're doing it because they're not capable of doing that. Okay? So I'm not sure she knew she would resent him, but she is resenting him right now. But what's helping that? How do you shut off and not speak to your fiance for days? We know it's at least 4 days because she said later on 3 to 4 days later. Right? So let's see. All right, let's keep going. So you accepted the choice. We've all had to make choices that are actually sacrifices, but it's kind of too early to be making such choices, to be having conversation with to be trying to have conversation with the person that's shut off for days and they're supposed to be your fiancé. It's too early. It's too early. If you find yourself in that situation, here's what I said earlier that you might have missed. If you find yourself in that situation, what you need to do is you need to engage them with a coach, a counselor. Tell them to go and talk to their pastor because nothing good is going to come out of it, right? Have them talk to a therapist if they have to talk to a therapist, because I tell you, that behavior is going to backfire badly. Okay, either you will resent him later, the Because again, right now, you may not know that you don't really like him because rejection breeds obsession, right? You might not know that, but it's going to backfire. It's a matter of time, okay? It might not be this obvious. It might be something very subtle, right? All right, so let's keep going. But 5 years later, Kiriwa has not happened. And clearly, you didn't subscribe to it. If you're going to be in a relationship, celibacy with a person, right? It needs to be an agreement. It needs to be the same values. It needs to be something you value together. If only one person value it, it's a bad idea. Okay? It's a bad idea. Okay? All right. So I think we're going to send Soji along. Go ahead and hug a transformer. He said it himself. Nobody forced him to do that. Go and hug a transformer brotherly. That's something I completely support. That's a fact. Let's see. Jayoba Ogunlano say Atutibere. Yes, so we did here. Shout out to you. All right. Bumi says, my take is Fancy needs to grow up. You can't be going to social media every time there's a problem. Oni keteketeni. Something like that. Oni keteketeni. What is that? If everything that is being alleged, okay, we already went past that. Now you say make I monitor the kinu, I try. Brother Patrick said I missed your call, forgot my phone. No, it wasn't. They were calling the group, they were trying to get my attention. I was muted by mistake, you know. Shout out to Esther Odudu Obano. Shout out to you. Welcome, you know. D-Love never addressed negativity. It's no point in it. It's useless. I always tell them to go and hug a transformer before they said it themselves, actually. You can send them on their way. Thank you for that. All right, let's keep going. All these things are sacrifices that I have made in the hopes that we would have a great marriage. But to see your priority is packaging, that led her to, she will not be getting married. And I'm calling the wedding off. I hope you understand and respect my decision. There's no bad blood and no anger in this message. I'm calmly saying this will not work, and I wish you all the best. Feel free to communicate with me on how we can move forward in separating amicably. If not, this message is enough to say I will not be marrying you. Please do have a great day. Talk to you. She does write a very long sentence. If need be, if not, take good care. All right. And then what was the response? His response. This was a year ago, August 19, 2021. Okay. So as far as they're concerned, this is kind of stale, but it's not stale to us, right? Fancy, if Mrs. Toyin, Auntie Toyin, reads that message you sent to the group, you can forget about me for life. Ladies and gentlemen, let me share this with you. Shout out to you, Brother Patrick. Good to see you, sir. Let me share this with you. If a person threatens you like that, okay? If they threaten you like that, and they go, you can forget about me after they haven't actually spoken to you for days, yeah, it's probably a bad idea already. Hit that like button. Hit that like button right now. It's a bad idea to be waiting for them. If you're still waiting, you know, if you're still waiting, all right, don't give attention to morons. Please don't do that. Let's keep it moving. All right. Never ever give attention to morons. If you deem it a moronic behavior, like haven't spoken to you in days, now you have to say, when they do reach out, now you say, you need to talk to a pastor. All right, you need to talk to a pastor. You need to talk to your alpha, right? You say less as possible. Say less than necessary. Because in your mind, you think you have to do the shalaye. You see the long text that she did, the shalaye. It's not going to work. He shut down for days. He wasn't talking to you for days. That's not normal behavior. We can't normalize that. Yes, I know I said a lot of your brothers, your uncles, and they behave this way. Every time they get attacked, they feel attacked. Even if you don't mean to attack them, they shut down. They go into a corner. They start sobbing and sucking on their thumb like a baby. If you happen to be with a person like that, it doesn't mean they can be a good partner in the future, but they need to know that this is a bad weakness that if it's not addressed, you're just going to end up resenting each other long term. You know? Very, very, very important. Hey, Ice Ice, good to see you, Ice Ice. You're not that late. You're kind of late, but not really. Okay. But Mario says, look at the way he's talking to her. Someone that was about to marry her. I beg. Hey, Twinkle GG, good to see you. It says, thing is, I doubt it's the first time he has shut down for days and refused to answer her messages. No, it's not the first time. This is the first time she will be sending a message to a group. This is not the first time it happened. All right, so let's keep going. But when he wanted to respond, what was he trying to do? He was still packaging so that Auntie Tony, Mrs. Tony, will not know. Anyway, let's keep going. Then she goes, it's been 3-4 days. This is 3-4 days after the long shutdown, the previous one. It's been 3-4 days. You haven't called me. You haven't even had the decency to respond to my long message. Your only message is for me to delete the message to Tony. I be the why meanie. She has been calling me. Okay, she has been calling me. I want to give you an opportunity to call me immediately, Alex, if you want to discuss how we're going to handle this respectfully. So she still wants to discuss, not only because she wants her. They have lives entangled together. They probably have things over at each other. He was probably going to, I think she was in Los Angeles, right, California, and he probably goes back and forth, and other kind of the good stuff, right? And so they probably like, how can we separate? Where should I send your stuff to? Should I send your stuff to your uncle's house? Those kind of conversations may need to happen. Or it could just be exactly what we suspected. She hasn't really decided. She's conflicted. Right? If not, I will go forward with letting my family and friends know the wedding is off on my own. Only a few know at the moment. Do you want to discuss this or not? That's a jump question. Right? What did he say? He finally responded. Let's see what this says. Fancy, you dare threaten me with calling off the wedding. Nigga. Right? The audacity, right? Keep in mind, disclaimer, we don't know if this is actually Alex and Fancy. But I think it is because she did an interview with the blogger, right? Okay, so kind of know. We're just referencing back to what messages are they talking about, right? You even said you have told a few people. That's good to know. You want to tell your friends and family? No problem. Go ahead. But you know me this much. If this quarrel touches the internet, again, his mind is packaging. There's only so much energy that we have as human beings, right? There's only so much energy you can give to packaging and to actually being in love with you at the same time. Like, never mind the sexuality stuff. I'm just saying, you should know where people's focus and where what is it that they value. Okay, you could tell in their rhetorics. Okay, you could just tell. Let's see. Go ahead, but you know me this much, blah blah blah. If this quarrel touches internet or one person calls me, we shouldn't. Fancy, I guarantee you it's all over. You've been the one breaking up with me. The nerve of you call off our wedding. No problem, enjoy. All right, let me give you 2 instances really quickly. This message says, look at the date. He knew about her calling off the wedding for all the reasons she had listed on her message. But instead of being mature and actually trying to resolve those problems, he threatens her as seen above. Let me tell you something, okay? If you are getting a threat like this in your relationship or in your marriage, if you keep pushing it under the rug, you're just making the breakfast hotter and bigger. You will still chop breakfast and you have to chop all of it. Okay, you need to be able to tell them that, hey, we need help. Okay, if somebody shut off for days and haven't spoken to you, that relationship was over by default. It's not you breaking up with him, he broke it off. Or vice versa. If your lady tends to shut off for days and they're not talking to you, gentlemen, you need to have better self-value than that. She shut it off. She says she no one do. She just didn't use her mouth. Okay? I'm sorry. But what if some people can just be upset like, I know, but it's not, it's over with. So the idea when I say, well, you're the one that been breaking up. No, if you haven't spoken to her for days, there was no relationship. The same thing is applicable when you are in a marriage and there's no carryover for 3 months. If there's no carryover for 3 months, the marriage does not exist. It does not exist. Does that mean you should just move on? Listen, I know you're not going to move on anyway. It's not that simple. What I'm trying to tell you is that you should at least write it down somewhere that this marriage does not exist. If you have that conclusion, it's a little bit easier to move into the future. Okay? If that means with or without your partner. That's what I want to say. Okay? With or without your partner. But if you're hung on to the idea that the marriage is still existing and you haven't done anything, what makes sense now? It's not making sense. It's not sustainable. Okay? All right. Let me see if there's any more here. Good night, Alex. Have fun. Be safe. Everything will be okay. All right. I don't know which one this is. Good night, Fancy. We do. I believe so too. Okay. So, like our shirt says, oh, okay. I don't know. Maybe there's more to this, right? Let me see. I've called you again, even on my direct line that we always answer in case of emergency. Several times. For days, it's now obvious. It's now obvious you're purposely ignoring my calls. And obvious you don't respect me at all. So that's point made. Fancy, before I say a word to you, go back to that group and deeply apologize to me. This is the manipulation we're talking about all along, right? Well, the manipulation didn't start. You know, the manipulation did not start. The manipulation did not start with the asking for the apology. It started with everything you saw earlier. The shutting off for days is part of controlling behavior and manipulation. It's just bad behavior in general. It doesn't matter if you're a man or man who is behaving like this. It's very bad. You're creating damages, not just to the other person, but to yourself. Because if you get away with it, if you think you're lucky and you're getting away with shutting down on yourself and the people you love for days in a row, you're going to hurt yourself. Okay? Because people will get used to it. They're like, oh, you don't know him. Oh, that's how she is. You just have to give her some time. If people are saying that to themselves already behind your back, you go collect badly. You will miss out so much. It might be too late before you regain all of that back. Time is not your mate. In your last show, the damaged relationships you put out here will come back and haunt you. Directly or indirectly. Okay? The worst part is that you may not be able to pinpoint exactly where these consequences are coming from. That's the worst part. Honestly, I wish we could say it was this moment. Go make amends. But there's so much, because this is a behavior that you've been doing over and over. And it's hard to go back. The only thing you can do is, like, in that moment when you catch it, you say, okay, I need help because I do this. And I'm a good person. But I tend to shut down. Right? I understand I need to go to bed. We'll talk about this in the morning. I understand that. I had to understand that. I didn't understand. I never used to understand it. But I understand. Just sleep over it. Wake up on the following morning. Give a little space. Give a couple of hours. 30 seconds. Right? But for days, there's nothing healthy about that. Okay. So I really don't see the point of these calls. Okay. So he's determined. I don't know what this is. This is something else somebody else posted in the group. Alex EKUBO's changed immediately after he proposed become verbally. Okay, I guess this is the interview. This is part of the interview that we're about to go back to, right? Let's see. All right, we've gone through this message. We've gone through this message. We've gone through this one. All right. All right. All right. So now let's go back to the message we were reading earlier. The interview. Okay. I think we extracted some good lessons already. Okay. Some really good ones. It can go both ways. Okay. It can go both ways, except the part where he's completely unaware that he's putting this woman in a place where she has to protect herself. That's not sustainable. She couldn't do that for much longer than, what was it, August 21, when she called off the engagement. Right? It's just not sustainable. Some people will wait until 3 years into the marriage. Some people wait until 5 years into the marriage. Last. Gentlemen, you will collect if you have controlling behavior. Okay? And I know that for the most part, majority of the controlling behaviors out there comes from a very oblivious place. You don't mean any harm, but you're effectively harming the other person emotionally. I know that part. But ignorance is not an excuse. Okay. All right, so let's get back to some of the how's everyone doing? Good. Let's get back to some of the comments. Sometimes when people don't get their own way, they use silent treatment to punish the partner. Yes. Very, very common behavior. There's a high chance if you're not that person, you will end up with a person who does this. Okay? A very high chance. Hi, Toby and Tribe. Shout out to you. I'm seeing that name for the first time. I'm not taking sides, but believe all she said because you can still see her naiveness in all her talk. I agree with you. Well, you see when she said control. Yeah. Controlling behavior, right? There is not 1 ounce of love towards this woman. Fancy, pick up your self-esteem and leave, sis. This ain't it. Did Chuka come into the room? Who is Chuka? Chuka both. What's Chuka? Is that Igbo language? Shout out to all 94 of you listening right now. We're extracting lessons out of this story. That's all we're doing. Somebody said we're gossiping earlier, but they also said they want to go and hug Transformer. Anyhow, whatever you said, at the end of the day, you have the right to be right.
You're right.
All right. Everyone has motives to do anything, but it now if it's possible negative, damn, that's mean. He didn't answer her for days. Wow. Yeah. I can see why you can see that as mean. It's wicked, At the very minimum, the other party will receive it as wicked, even if you don't mean to be wicked. If they're seeing it as wicked, that's really all that's important. That's all that matters, Yes, you can call in. I'm gonna drop the link in about 5 minutes. Let me rush through. Let me just go ahead and rush through the interview. That she gave an interview. So somehow she gave an interview. I'm not sure what she's trying to get out of that, but it's probably she's not gonna get anything out of it. For her mental health, she will get some followers for sure. Remember IDV's wife, Bimbo, the late Bimbo, right? Yeah, nothing good will come out of it. Anyway, so let's go through this interview real quickly. So hello, Fancy. Can we talk? Okay, so she tells Stella and did not break up with Alex because of his sexual, and explains a lot of things, including their chat that's leaked. Okay, so Stella says, hello, Fancy. Can we talk? I'm a journalist. Fancy says, hey, Stella, Happy New Year. Sure. What would you like to discuss? Please let me know. Stella asks, about all this stuff going on, do you want to grant me an interview? I was really excited and looking forward to you and Alex's reconciliation, but it looks like that's not happening anytime soon. What went wrong? That's how she got her. That part, that's how she got her. Where she said, I was really excited about reconciliation. That's how you soften the blow, right? I will understand if you don't want to talk. Times 2, raised to power 2. If you don't want to talk, but I would advise you do. What? Okay. Fancy says, I've seen your blog before. It's positive, especially when you speak of Alex and I. Oh. Shout out to Stella, right? Is our blog positive always, by the way? I'm wondering. I'm guessing like a polar opposite of Gislover. Because that one don't send anybody, right? Fancy say, I've seen your blog, okay. So this is all very devastating. I feel like speaking up makes me look bad, but so does my silence. Now, speaking up make her look bad because of the monitoring spirit. You will end up trying to satisfy the monitoring spirit. Nothing good comes out of that. You can never satisfy a da in your eda in your bidi nyonyo. You can never satisfy them, especially if they come in 2.2 million. Okay, don't bother. Okay, silence. Nobody's asking you to do silence. You need support system. You need people that love you. A professional can be highly helpful, that can listen to what you have to say. You pay them so they don't really have to put your shit out there. Excuse my French. I'm trying to keep it clean, right? You don't have to put your stuff out there. You could have a support system. Sometimes it could be close friends, but most friends are not a good support system because they will be biased and they might not want to tell you the truth. But if they're able to give you a shoulder to cry on, that's a good support system without having strong opinions. Having strong opinions about your ex-fiancé does not necessarily help you because it tampers with your self-esteem, it tampers with your self-worth, because you will end up in a position, in a vicious cycle where you continue to question your past choices and you feel bad, even worse about it, and that's not necessarily a good thing. Okay, so when you have a friend that's just want to talk bad about your ex, even if they're right, it's not necessarily helpful because it makes you start to feel even worse. It tampers with your self-esteem and self-worth. So if you have that friend that keeps talking about your ex in a negative light, they're not helping you. Okay, I've never done an interview about this. I chose silence, but Alex continues to want me to make public apology because he's a very stupid guy. Yeah, at least based off of what she's saying. And it's hurting me in so many ways. I have never even shared reasons why I left. I know she has an image to protect for him to look cool, but this last apology statement we wrote together broke me. They wrote it together. Bruh. How dumb. You don't do that. That's against the rules and laws of power. You don't do that. Oh my God. Anyway. And it was just all for revenge from him to clear his image and ruin mine. No, I think he's really that dumb. I don't think he was trying to ruin you. He's effectively ruining you. But I don't think he meant that. And it's important that you separate the two. Because if you keep thinking he's trying to ruin you, hurt people. You might end up not being able to hurt him. You will end up hurting your next man. Because you have this thing at the back of your mind that any slight look like Alex in your future, your next boyfriend, you're going to be like, yeah, I knew it. They're all the same. And I understand that. But you're now aware, okay, that you don't want to be looking at these intentions from a place of worst case scenario. What is the best case scenario? Is weak. It's a weak man who did not understand how these things work. That's too bad for him because I deserve better. That's a better place to come from so you don't hurt yourself. Does that make sense? If you create narratives that makes you vindictive, you will hurt yourself. Stella goes, why did you break off your engagement, Fancy? There are so many reasons I ended it. Fancy says, it's very personal. I don't want to embarrass him or myself further. Well, you will embarrass yourself. Him too, but you too, yeah. If I said why, people will say, well, how obvious was that? And you ignore the red flags. Well, you must well say it now, right? We tried to reconcile. I asked for us to do it privately, get counseling. He disagreed. Men tend to disagree with counseling. Guess how I know? Guess how I know? Anybody want to guess how I know that men tend to disagree with counseling the first time it's offered to them by their partner? Maybe I'm generalizing. The person who was being offered counseling tends to disagree. Mostly men. Anybody want to guess? Hey, Just Jay. Good to see you, Just Jay. No, I don't want to tell you. Guess. No, I don't want to tell you. Anybody want to guess? Did the bot come back here again? Jesus Christ. We need more mods. I need more mods here. Let's see. I did too. Me now. Exactly. That's how I know, right? So I am projecting, yes. But I've also have enough cases of people that I've helped. It's typical. Gentlemen. Okay. Gentlemen. Okay. Let me say this to you. If she comes to you and she says, I think we need counseling, you need to kneel down and say, God, I thank you. I thank you. Thank you, God. Right? Because what's the flip side of that? What's the flip side of that? Yes, Ade. Oh, I see you, Ade. I refused it. What's the flip side of that? Right? What do you typically do? You overreact. You start feeling less than a man. So I'm not enough for this household. You need counseling. Why don't we just go to your dad? Or just talk to the pastor? What's going on, babe? Just tell me. Listen, if she says, I think we should go to counseling, you need to take the offer, because she could decide to be silent. Like who? Like Fancy. Guess who go collect breakfast last? Guess who go collect breakfast last? Okay, now you go collect breakfast last. So, Brother Patrick, you're able to block people now, okay? And Ice, you're able to block people. All right. If you see any of those, because sometimes I just have to stay focused, okay? Now you go collect last. But who cares? I don't mind them. Good riddance to bad rubbish. You care. You need to tell your face that you don't care, because your face no get the memo. You care, and your family. You will lose your family, because children could be involved. I guess it'll be easy if it's just a fiance. Maybe it'll be easier. Not necessarily. Breakfast, not breakfast. Okay, you go just collect woto. You get shut down for days in a row. This chick, we know from the message that she had broken up with him a few times. This guy have been collecting breakfast for a while, but they break up, they make up, right? He said that earlier, right? Anyway, let's keep going. Even his family and friends said privately it would be better, but he needed the grand gesture apology. He's obsessed. with publicity so he can have the grand wedding he wants again, not caring the issues were still there. How did you know? Because this guy, I really want to use the N word, but I won't be using N word here again because I want to keep it clean. This guy, let's call him this guy, literally came out and responded to the apology. It was a screenshot from his page, right? To the apology he helped created. Manipulation. Manipulators know they stop. They try to manipulate all 2.2 million monitoring spirits at the same time. Could it work? That's why I keep telling you, gentlemen, your radars need to be extremely high. You know what? I may be manipulative. I may have bad controlling behavior. They keep telling me there must be some truth to it. Learn it. Because just because you deny it doesn't mean it's not there. And that doesn't change the fact that you're a good guy. Because, hey, you might just be a guy who is a stand-up guy who is trying to do the right thing. That's why I keep trying to tell the ladies. Right? But your behavior is destructive. And either you know it or not, ignorance is not going to be an excuse. Not caring the issues were still there. Everything is about social media for him. And somehow it's now looking like I want the attention when this is the worst attention I've ever had in my life. I have a full-time job, clients, family, businesses. This was what I wanted to avoid. He ruined every chance of us being back together by thinking humiliating me will make me still love him. He was selfish, but he lacked self-love. He definitely lacked self-respect. You know, you can actually be selfish and lack self-love at the same time. Did you know that? Oh, yeah. When we talk about self-love has foresight. You see further than just the moment. Selfish is just how you feel in the moment. So they're actually two different lanes. They're parallel. You get it? Self-love, you don't just run around and say, self-love, and it's a moment. You're lying to yourself. You're just selfish, okay? But self-love must include long-term. Like, there's a reason why you must have self-love. You understand that in the long term, people mimic the level of self-love and respect you have for yourself. That's it. If you have lack of self-respect, you will attract disrespect. And the worst part is that you will keep asking for respect and it will get worse. You will collect. Wodo. You get it? All right. So let's go to the next one. Part 2. Now, I'm hearing my breakup text has leaked. I sent it to my close people at the time of the breakup. They're so upset with Alex, they don't forgive. Meaning they don't really like you. They're just trying to take care of their own emotional need. Okay? The variety part of it. They want to be entertained by the idea that, oh, have you seen this? The gossip part of it, right? Have you seen this? Oh, have you seen this? Oh, yeah, that feeling, right? They could care less about you. So if you want, keep sending those messages on WhatsApp to your closest friend. Your closest friend may not be the one to leak it. They will need to feel that urge, that feeling of they entertain somebody else. It's contribution, actually. It's both variety and contribution. They contributed entertainment to somebody else. That person, that chain reaction, you just don't know who's going to share it. That's why it's a no-go area. Don't use text messages for emotionally charged matters that has to do with your romantic relationship. You will hurt yourself. They are so upset with Alex and how he treats me that I know they leaked it. We would have, if they like you and they like you that much, they won't leak it. So that's cap right there. It's a good ploy. This is a good point. This is a good place to play the cap, but I won't do that. Let me stay focused. Because we run out of time as usual. Jesus Christ. Now let me ask you straight up. Let me do this. Let's do this really quickly. Drop in the link right now. Now everyone is in our business, so here comes the sabotage because they feel it's bad for me based on everything they know. They don't care. Yeah. They don't mean to not care, but they don't care. So there's no chance of a reconciliation. Stella asked, and she said no. And Stella says, now, let me ask you straight up. There has been so much talk going around since you broke up with Alex. They say you found out that he swings both ways. If it's not true, at least correct that impression. Oh, Stella is such a wise woman. Jesus Christ, the way she framed that question. At least correct that impression that your breakup caused it would only be fair to him. Fancy says, we can't. It's too messy. I tried my best. For once, she maintained her core. I still don't think it should be publicly, right? But there's a good chance this happened in a DM somewhere. I tried my best. He wanted to get back with me as much as I did. Oh, she wanted to get back too. The image. We're all slaves to the image, ain't it, right? In it. We've been at this for 1 year, but he felt since I broke up with him, I should do more of the work. I was fine. I do see that somebody came into the studio. I'll come to you in a minute. If I don't know who you are already, be ready to show me at least your face once, okay? I was fine with that, but his methods are cruel and constantly public. All right. So I think basically what I say people are good and they're not good is basically a disconnect with intentions. I'm always trying to tell people, like, people don't put them on that pedestal. Don't give them that much credit. They don't necessarily always mean bad intentions, but they're effectively being cruel. I agree with that. Okay. His actuality is not the reason I broke up with him. I'm very open-minded, so regardless of what he prefers, ooh, she's making it worse. Love is love for me. I loved him for his personality and heart, nothing more. He didn't want to be with me intimately, which was confusing. She's not helping it, right? And difficult for me to understand, especially for 5 years. So it did affect my self-esteem as I kept myself for him. And when he would cheat with curvy women, he wouldn't perform with them either. So I don't... Wait, what? Affect my self-esteem as I kept myself for him. And when he would cheat with curvy women, he wouldn't perform with them either. So I don't know. Oh my gosh, she's trying to destroy him completely. I can't confirm or deny his actuality, but for me, I loved him despite all, and he still found ways to hurt me. Nah, baby, you didn't love him. You were loving yourself, the idea of being with this man. You couldn't. You were not capable of loving him. You were lost in the sauce. Low self-esteem. Low self-worth. People that have low self-esteem and low self-worth, they are not capable of loving a person. They just can't. Stella says, dated 5 years and no intimacies. Did you confirm he was cheating? Caught him or you were told? Francis says, yes, that is embarrassingly true. When I met him, I don't have much experience, so it was easy to convince me that his decision was because of religion. But as he would constantly cheat, and yes, I caught him, it would hurt me because that's not part of the religious belief he made our celibacy to be. Honestly, this whole thing has been complicated because words. So it's unhealthy for me to continue this relationship. I agree with her. She needs help. More importantly, because she's the one talking. But it's safe to say he needs help too. I guess I needed this post. He begged me to DP so that I can see his intention was just to clean up his image. Bad. We got one more, I think, part 3. I'm truly sorry I've ever posted a breakup message. It's a guilt that has haunted me. Guilt are 100% destructive when it comes to emotions. I keep telling you that. Self-guilt, self-blame, blame, shaming, insult, judgments are all destructive to the emotions. They don't work well. They're terrible ways of empowering people. Okay? I can't fix the past, but it's constant punishment, even though my life in my live in their truth, or my live in their truth statement has truth to it. This embarrassment is not something I deserve. Stella says, and from the breakup text, it looks like you were the one to pay for the wedding both of you were to have. Fancy says, you have seen it? No, we've all seen it. All 2.2 million monitoring spirits have seen it. She says, yes, I have. Fancy says, I'm so embarrassed, but everything in that message is true. At that time, I was angry and sent it to close peoples, and when they saw it, they were shocked. It's bad because with all that, I still wanted to go back to him because I loved him. But it being so public has made it possible to repair this. You can repair it, you just have to back off of the internet for once, go somewhere, go away for 3 months. I promise you more stories will come out that's not yours that we will cover. Okay? That we can extract more than enough lessons from. Okay? Go away somewhere. Okay, Fancy? Stella says, do you think too many outsiders are involved in this? Have both families intervened? Fancy says, way too many. My 2.2 million of them. My family does not want him anymore in our family. They know too much. They were in support of a reconciliation if it was private. But his tit for tat was concerning. Tit for tat behavior, playing competition, context, right? Contest, right? Between each other. Yeah, in any ramifications, no matter how little it is. But what about you two? You two, if you have those attitude, stay away from a marriage because it work. Okay. He only focused on my reactions, never on his actions. One last thing, say something to Alex through this interview. Talk to him through me. And then she goes, honestly, I don't know what to say to him. This has to be the most devastating thing I've ever been through. I can see that. That makes sense. And for it to be so public, I pray we both find healing and peace because it won't be an easy journey. One breakup statement shouldn't have led to all this. What? That's all you needed. That's all you needed. Especially if you're going to say leave your truth with all the rumors that he has following him, hunting him, right? One breakthrough. I wish I never said anything, but I am human. I was fed up with good reasons. I pray he doesn't only focus on people's reactions, but evaluate his actions too. I also pray he learns to be real and more forgiving with his next person and not be so consumed with having the perfect image. Anybody who is consumed with, she has good lessons here. Anybody consumed with perfect image will self-destruct. That's just how it works. Hilayemaso. What will people say if you're overly consumed with that? We all put our best foot forward. Let's not even cap about that. We all want to package to an extent. That's the truth. But if you're overly consumed with that, you will self-destruct. At some point, you have to say, to hell with it. This is me. All right. Because it's draining to keep that up. My mental health can't tolerate our relationship anymore. Stella says, wow, catch a hug from me, Cece. No, Stella. Stop it. Stop the cap. Okay, I believe her. Catch a hug from me, Cece. Thank you for opening it up to me. I pray you both find closure from this. Francis says, no problem. There's been reports that he blocked me on the social media. That's not true. That would be really bad on him. I don't want people to think that he just reviewed himself. No, it's too late. It's too late. All right, let's see who is in the studio. Who's in the studio? Okay, we got Ice here, and we got Just J here. Let me pull all of you now. I see you. I see you. You could turn it off now. I see you. If you want to, it's okay. You want to turn it off. Let me see here. All right, let me hide you. Let me hide you. I will just do it like this. What's going on, Just J?
Hey, hola, how you doing?
Oh, you decided to grace this occasion today, huh?
Yes, I had to. It's 2023. I had to do something different. I said I had to hit the link at least once.
That's what's up. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You're my true day one. You know that, right?
Absolutely.
We used to be just one here. We have 91 people right now watching us.
Listen, the numbers are coming up and I'm loving the growth. Every time you put a post and you showing the numbers and stuff, it's so nice to see. So yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Good to hear your voice. I have Ice Ice in the studio too. Ice Ice, how now?
Hi, happy New Year, everybody.
All
Can
right.
you hear me?
Yeah, I
Can
can
you
hear
hear
you.
me?
I can hear
Okay.
you. Yes. Who wants to go first? This is a lot.
Let her go. She
It,
came first. She came first. Let her go.
Okay.
Thank you, Ice Ice, because y'all okay, so I'm American, right? So, Ola the one always hipping me up on game when it comes to a lot of this other stuff, in y'all's area. So since I don't have a lot of context, you know what I'm saying? Because it hits different when you don't know the players, but the story is still the same, right? So yeah, if you don't mind, I go first and then I'll let y'all do y'all thing. In general, right? It's a lot of madness, right? So while I'm reading and you're reading, I'm like, okay, but babes, log off, but she keep going, and it's like, okay babes, but log off, like I get it, but you still going. And so whenever I like, I've had times, right, and I'm grateful I never got to that point, right, but I know what the feeling is like to want to vent and explain your story, right? But it comes from a place of insecurity and just really not understanding self and understanding the process, that you're going
Yep.
through. And so the times that I felt like I needed to explain myself or try to reach for validation, right? I have my moments now where I will say something in general on social media, right? But it's not in a way where it's gonna exacerbate an issue, right?
Yep.
Because social media, it's an outlet and it's cathartic for some, but I'm still mindful in how I move because you can make a situation worse because she's saying, that she care for him, but yeah, it's like a little slight shade, that I'm picking up. Like she'll be like, okay, well, I don't really know his sexuality, but I loved him despite everything or whatever she said. But it's like, okay, but you said you didn't know, so like what are we talking about here?
Exactly. Exactly.
And so the last thing I was gonna say concerning that, and I truly believe this, when you care for people, right? Because I can't assume a person loves me or not based on how they treat me, but it is an indicator, right, of their capacity to meet my needs, And so like when I was younger, I'd be upset, like, oh, he didn't give a F about me, like, or what. Ultimately, I don't know because I'm not in his head, but I can assess the situation and say, okay, this is not healthy for me, and they're not going to get the best out of me. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not able to meet that need. So when you care for people, right? For me, if I care for a person, loving a person, caring for a person is about covering their vulnerabilities. It's not about exploiting them or exposing them. So I'm a stickler when it comes to it's the love foxes for me. You know what I'm saying? If we have some stuff that go down and you feel the need to pull a situation like this, for me it's no coming back from that because your
Yeah.
character, you cannot get on the internet and yeah, it's just certain things you can't do. I have people that I no longer speak to in life because we've just gone separate ways, but you will never catch me on the internet telling their business, or just being, you know what I'm saying, ill-mannered in that aspect. So that was the main thing I wanted to say. When you care for people, it's normal for things sometimes to, part ways, but it's still about how you choose to handle that person after the fact.
Awesome. Yeah. That's that. Nothing but facts. But let's be honest, Judge J, you do be trolling these people.
Well, I be trolling, right? By
All right.
listen, you
But I
listen,
like
I
it.
do
I
my
like
trolling, but I ain't but if I'm coming to bite somebody head off, it's because they
Right.
shook the cage. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying,
Right. Right. Right.
it has to be warranted, and even if it is warranted in how I choose to respond, there's
Right.
still certain levels I'm not
Right.
willing. It's certain lines I'm not willing to cross, especially
Right.
like in this situation in a
Right.
relationship. It's just
Right.
certain lines I refuse to cross because once you cross them, you can't go back. At least not with me.
Yeah. I'm not in that scene as much
I know
anymore.
what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I've seen it, and it's usually not you speaking about yourself. You're trolling them based off the stupid shit they're talking about. So
Exactly.
I'm
Because
with
if you
you.
notice
So
me, I don't make it personal. I just, hey,
yeah,
hey, this is bullshit. What you're
right,
saying don't
right.
make sense to me. I don't get it.
And I
But yeah,
think
that
they
was the
love you
main
too.
thing.
I think they love you. Like they
Some
respect
of
you,
them
right?
do. Some of them do, and some of them can't stand me. Some of them hate me. But hey,
It
listen.
is
At the
what
end
it
of the
is.
day, I got to lay down with myself. So I shared the video, and as usual, you already know I support you.
Thank you
I've
so
been rocking
much.
with you since I was over in the
Since day
chats and the other
one,
spaces. You know what I'm
since
saying?
the sign language, which they can all suck a D for
Facts.
that.
Because, I was in the chat, like, when I first met Ola, I'm like, okay, help me understand what the hell they talking about, because this shit don't make sense to me. And he
Yeah.
like, okay, well, XYZ, whatever. So yeah, always tell people if they want to hear common sense when it comes
Yeah.
to human dynamics on the internet, hit up Man of Prestige, hit up Ola. Like, that's the plug right there.
Thank you so
But
much. I
anyway, I
appreciate you.
truly appreciate you, and I'm looking forward to 2023. I'm gonna add you on the little link you and Lola got for the
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
text
yeah.
thing or whatever that is.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
make sure I
please.
do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But I'm gonna
Yep.
go ahead and I'm gonna drop down Ice. I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say. But I had to hit the panel, Ola.
All right. Thank you so much, Judge J. Talk soon.
Be well, y'all. Bye bye.
All right. Bye. Ice. How now? How you did? Can you hear me? Or mute though? You did muted though. Ice. Ice that.
Okay. I didn't know. I muted when she was talking. Okay.
Okay.
What's her name? Just J. All right.
Yeah, just J.
Okay,
Yeah.
Just J. It's nice hearing your voice too.
Your
Hi,
your your
everybody.
your day one when we merged together with Obodo Fam, right? But she's day one when she will be the only one in the
Are
watching.
you serious?
Dead
That's
ass.
good.
Yeah. So shout out to both of you for coming up. Yeah. What's on your mind about this, Jare? I beg, share.
Man, I sent you some things. The first thing I want to point out before we forget is, I sent the last one I sent was I think the second to the last was the one Alex wrote about the grandmom. The grandmom.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to figure out. Maybe you can explain it to her. Let me see if I
I
can
did
pull it
not
up.
circle what I wanted you to look at because I didn't want to get you confused. Because
Right.
if you can show it, I really appreciate that one.
Let me see if I can find it. I think
Yes,
it
so that
might
I'll
be
show
here.
you
This
what I
one.
was.
Is it this one?
Yes. No.
Okay.
The grandmom. His
the
grandmom's
grandmom.
post. He went for the burial, so he posted something.
Yes. I really didn't understand it, so I didn't pick it up into the screen.
Okay, is that the one we're talking about?
No. I know the one you're talking about. Because you said that was his last post. He went to
No, it
Umar
wasn't
here
his last
somewhere.
post. One of his second last post. No, I picked that post. So there's something he wrote there that has to do with the apology. That's why I picked that.
Oh, the one where he said thank you. The one where he said thank you for the apology.
No.
Oh no. I didn't get it.
You see, that's why I didn't circle it because I didn't want to confuse it. Okay, let me tell you what he wrote there. He made a
Right.
post in his page about the grandmom. He went for the burial. He was thanking everybody, my grandmom this, my grandmom that. He now said something. He said something in the post. He said, I miss you. I love you.
Yes.
You see that
That's
line?
the same one I'm talking about. Yeah. It's still in my phone, but I didn't pull it to the screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see that line? That line he used. It's the same line he used in the apology that he crafted.
They always have patterns. But yeah.
You see, there's always a pattern. They lose guard, but people don't just pay attention. You see?
I know.
So it's on the same line he used in the apology. When I saw it, I laughed. I said, oh my God, if only people are just observant, everything is always on our faces. You understand? Okay, now, when she said, I don't even know where to start from, but let me just pick the ones I can remember. When she said they didn't have a Kerewa for 5 years,
right?
I was not surprised. It's two ways. I don't do one-way traffic. I think everywhere. I spread it out, then whatever suits the situation, you can settle for. Right. It's two ways. It's fine. Is whatever is S is in doubt.
Right.
We don't really know where it belongs. But do you know, the funniest thing is, there are so many fancy in Nigeria that would have settled for this thing without any blink.
Yes.
But you know the problem? They don't have blue passport. They don't have red passport.
They can't japa. Yes. They don't have options.
They can't give his dream kids the kind of life he wants.
Right.
And he doesn't want to spend the money to get it because he can't even afford it to pay for hospital bill in UK or in America or wherever. So they want people that have it already that can give it to their kids.
Yeah. Keep talking now. I can hear you. Keep talking. I can hear you. Okay.
Okay. So that was the difference between fancy and the ones in Nigeria. And a lot of them do this. They just marry these girls to cover up. Maybe all of you want to see marriage between man and woman. They do it. When they do it, then later, anything that happens. And you know, if they had gone ahead to get married without all this conflict, they would have still separated.
Right. Yep.
It would have led to
last name. Yeah. Eventually. Especially with this chick.
Yes, with
Yeah.
even she would try to make it work. He would try to make it work. Definitely, when she's already there from the kind of home and background that she's from, she will
Yep.
want to make it work. But it will still take. It might take 5 years, might take 10 years. They will still go their separate ways.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Now,
Exactly.
now, when they met, he said nothing for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
He knew what he was looking for, and he knew how to catch her with the values that she is into.
Yep.
That was, imagine your sister comes home and say, I meet this guy. It's not as if he's not out there, he's out there. But see what he's saying.
Right.
And he wants me. It's not as if he wants to play with me. He's serious about me.
At least he knew subconsciously, because clearly she was all over him. Like this
Yes.
this is the Nollywood pretty boy, like,
Thank you.
anybody. Yeah. Yep.
Thank you. So she was like, okay, this guy he's out there and he's telling me this. Oh, he must really like me, which everybody will go for.
Yep.
That was why she settled for it. She didn't see it as a problem. Okay, she now said he did something with coffee girls and all that. Definitely, if cheating is a deal breaker for you, she wouldn't have continued. But it was not a big deal to her.
Yep.
Or probably she too didn't want to lose the Nollywood big boy thing.
Yep.
You understand? Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, in all she said, if you pay attention, she said something somewhere when she was talking to Stella. She said, when Stella asked about Alice S, she now said she's not sure, she doesn't know, and regardless, she still loved Alice.
Yeah.
Meaning she knew all those things were on.
Yeah.
Which was true. The rumor were already on before
she was
started.
destroying him further. She was destroying him further.
Let's be honest. The rumor were already on with Alex and his crew before she came into the picture.
She's Googled him. She's seen them too. She's Googled him and seen those things.
Thank you. And that was where Alex caught her with that no kerewa. Imagine a man that they are saying he's this, he's that, and he's telling me no kerewa for before marriage. That means what they are saying is not true. You see?
Yep.
That is how Alex caught her and held her down mentally and psychologically. So she was hooked up there. And Alex was spoiling her with what he gets from other women, spoil it on her. Somehow, she was doing her own Igbo kind of love too now. For Alex to be demanding so much during that wedding planning, that means she knows you. She believe in the 50-50 or whatever thing that they do. Because if she was not spending so much before, as in like maybe exchange of gift and money, Alex won't be demanding so much for our wedding. For their wedding planning.
He got used to it. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. That now part. That means she knew it was a mixed feelings for what Alex was, but she didn't mind.
Yeah.
She didn't mind because she just enjoyed when you come to Nigeria, you cruise in your best car, go to the best places, all those kind of things. She was enjoying that life. Imagine when, let's be honest, every girl.
Yep.
Every girl wants that kind of life. You are in like somewhere like America, you get in Nigeria doing well. You should know you don't see heaven be that now. You know this kind of things. Anyway, she entered. Now, two of them have their blames. Two of them are to be blamed.
Yeah. Yes, now it takes two.
On her part.
It's been 5 years. He has to take two.
On her part, she was naive.
Yeah.
Yes. She was naive, and all she did was all her fault was immaturity.
Yeah.
Her fault to me was immaturity. She was not shady. She was not.
And she's still showing it too. She's still showing
it with all the things she's saying. In as much as she's trying to hold back, but she doesn't even know that anything she says is already translated to whatever we want it to mean to us. You understand?
Yep.
She was naive, and what she did was immaturity coming online. And let me tell you now I understand why she came online after seeing this text message she sent to the group. She came online because Alex was not talking to her.
Yeah.
Did you get?
Yep.
Alex was not answering.
She didn't have the outlet at that point, and she need to basically
put an end to it.
Like Justice said,
Alex was ignoring her. So to us that didn't know what was going on in the WhatsApp group or whatever, we were thinking the wedding planning was still going on. She wanted to make us know that it was not going on, so that you people stop tagging me with Fales 2022, 2022, a bit 2021 then. So that's why she put that one out there. She gave us that they are no longer getting married.
Yep.
It was which now you now see that it was Alex. Alex is the older person, as in Alex is more mature and had more experience. When she said she was not doing, definitely she spoke to Alex first,
Yep.
or she texted Alex first. When she said did that, Alex was supposed to talk to her, or whatever they want to do, they resolve. Even if Alex is not taking it, but he was supposed to do something that will make her calm down, and in a way that really they'll present it to whoever they want to present. They don't even owe us anything. Well, if November comes, they don't do it, we rest now. We're not going to hold November to say, no, you must do this thing before November passes. You understand me? But Alex was the one. You see, at times when you think,
it was behind the scenes.
Yes, when you think you've got this shit together, when you think you've got everything sorted together, you just found out that you just realize that you have done something to shoot yourself on your own. Because Alex was putting that in.
That's what I mean when I say you go collect, you hurt yourself. You think you're aggressive and you can use passive aggression to get you will collect.
That's the control, because Alex never believed she would come online to do anything. Alex never knew she could even say anything, like even
sorry, Isis, let me add this. Even if you don't mean to, you need to keep coming back so that your readers can be very sensitive to even when you are being controlling as a person, because it will hurt you even when that's not your intentions. Continue, Jerry, my sister.
Yeah, because she came online to tell us that she was calling off the wedding because Alex was ignoring her. Now it is not her fault that she came online, because Alex felt it. Let me tell you why Alex actually felt it. Alex felt it because he has always had the game on him. He has always been the player, as in the person playing the game and winning.
Yes.
Now it's to him, a small girl that I've not even touched, a small girl that is not even up to the spec I used to play. You understand? He's now calling my wedding off. Didn't you see the text message reply that he gave? Now threatening the girl.
The threats. That's what happens when you have controlling behavior and you're losing control. You just start slapping yourself.
Say, how dare you call off our wedding? He said it like how dare you it's supposed to be a team of two people. You are saying it as if the person is doing you wrong or whatever it is. Anyway, now I know why she came online. I will not blame her on that, which I know is not right. It was immature.
Because we don't blame anyway, but we pick out the lessons. We don't blame anyway.
Yes, because it was immature, but you can see why she did it. And you can still see that. You can see why some men go for this kind of girls, because they want to control them. They want to tell them anything and they take it. You understand? Okay, now let's say they came back and they were trying to. She said something. She said Alex wanted them to come back just as much as she wanted, which makes sense. It's normal. You might have your differences and you want to come back.
It's 5 years, right? I have some history there.
Exactly. Even if it was 6 months, I don't even care. If they have already made up their mind, they wanted to be together before forever, and something happened, they can come back if it's possible. Depends on what happened. But you know what she said there? I know you read this before I came. When she said it was all about his image, not even his actions that he's supposed to check.
Right.
You see what she said there? She didn't still mind. She was just saying, okay, maybe when we marry, he will change. You see the naiveness there? That's why she was coming back. She didn't mind coming back. But not knowing that it will still go on. Now, see, do you know she's a very lucky girl?
Yeah.
She's a very lucky girl because...
She's lucky. She's getting away with a lot.
Yes, if they had come back and they still married, this whole thing would happen. And I swear then she will be a baby mama. And Alex won't mind because that's what he wants. He wants a baby mama that
blue passport.
That got his child covered. That's what they want. Right. You see, that's just it. The thing is, you see American love and Niger love. You see the difference.
Yeah.
She was that they like those kind of things because those one can't figure out stuff. If it's Niger street girl, oh my god, this story would have been long gone. They would have forgotten that they even dated.
That's my question. What do you think? Let me before you continue, hold your thought. Don't lose your train of thought. Let me play this video. Let me ask you this question first, then I'll play the video. What do you think will happen if this was Nkechi blessing? I'm asking.
There are some people I don't like talking about, but
okay, hold on. Since you don't have the answer, hold on.
I saw the video. I saw the video.
Arame, really. Wait to see. This thing I'm about to say now is not a shade to anybody. But I want to date you now. You not tell me, we not do.
Really?
What did you saw to it? We not do. Shepe, people used to go and buy car.
All right, that's it. Continue. I just want to play that as a quick.
Brother, let's be very honest. This situation is a different situation.
It is. Yeah,
If you tell me, everybody do what works for you. I don't mind. See, if you ask me, I don't really mind no kerewa before marriage.
No. Slow down though. 5 years.
I'm telling you that. But I just said something. I said this situation is different.
Okay.
You understand me?
Okay.
I don't really mind no kerewa before marriage. But the thing is, what is the motive?
All right.
Everything
you came late. I did say that earlier. I said purpose. If it's lacking purpose, could make sense.
Yes, because and is it more if it's negative or positive? You can see clearly now that Alison was negative, but her own was positive because she thought it was for good for them and all that.
Right.
But for 5 years, I expect that thing to be okay. If you meet me, you like me that much, and you say no kerewa, and you really want to keep me. Why not do it within 6 or 1 year, maximum 1 year, and let's forget this.
Yeah, that's it.
For
maximum
5 years,
1 year. Yep,
yes,
that's it.
maximum 1 year. Instead of keeping me for 5 years for that. I remember nobody really knew this girl. For that 5 years they dated. Nobody
I didn't know
really
her up to 2 days ago. Sorry.
Okay, nobody really knew until like that year they got engaged. People were speculating that there's a girl that they saw with him. There's a girl that they saw with him. I swear, maybe this girl must have been to Nigeria maybe comes to Nigeria once a year when they were dating for that 5 years or whatever it was. But I know it was really possible that because of the distance for that no kerewa thing to be possible. But their case is different. Their case is not irregular.
It's different.
Let's really not do kerewa. Which is anything that works for you do. And mind people, if I say I don't mind no kerewa, let them know, bear in mind that no kerewa or kerewa does not make a successful marriage.
No, it doesn't. Those are two different conversations entirely.
Yes, those successful one depends on two of you, not with that kerewa deal, kerewa no deal. It has nothing to do with that. You understand me? It does not measure how much this person love or don't love you. Because see now, this one is very glaring now that he was just trying to use her to achieve what he wants.
Yep.
You understand? So, but some people will say it's love. You see? Some people will say because he said he doesn't want kerewa, it's love. You see? So that's why I say what works for you, do it. It has nothing to do for that Nkechi that you just showed. Let that one just be one corner. Because people just do things online. They don't think of the children they are going to have tomorrow. They are the one that will bet children tomorrow and start giving. They're the one that will have children tomorrow, and they will give their children smartphones before 10 years.
Right.
Imagine all those children seeing all these things online. They don't even consider kids. So I don't like talking about those people at all. I don't like talking about. Let them just continue doing what they are doing online. I wish them well. You understand?
This is the thing is that you made a lot of fantastic good points. You know, you were absolutely on point. I think you analyzed it very well. I think these two people definitely need some help, because if they jump into another situation, with everything going on right now, they would just end up hurting people, you know. So they definitely should take some time off to reassess things. The advice that she gave him at the end, she needs that advice too.
Yeah.
You know, it's these are serious matters. You know, these are serious matters, and we need to be very, very careful. You know, these I think there are a lot of the society the dating scene we have right now. It's just what it is. That's what you have, and either you like it or not, you will reproduce. You will do kerewa. You will knock people up. So it's not good enough to say I will avoid marriage. It's not good enough. Because if you're a typical natural person, you will just end up making the society worse. You know. Because you're coming from that standpoint, I'll do me anyway. Well, no, this world doesn't operate that way. We can't just do us. There are societal rules. There are ways things operate. This is why controlling behavior, it doesn't work. Yes, you should be in control of your life, but you should do it with respect to understanding that Mother Nature is feminine. It doesn't give a hoot about your feelings. There are rules. There are social skills. There are emotional rules. There are things that are not sustainable. You cannot be celibate with a person that does not align with those values for no more than 1 year. If they align with you and say, I can respect that, I like you enough, but we're getting married, are we setting a date within the next year? That makes sense. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But anything beyond that, you're playing with fire. Because somebody's going to get hurt.
True.
You know? Konji is not your mate like that. You know? No matter how intentional you are, blah, blah, blah. If you have blood running in your veins and you're a typical person, if somebody blow a little something in your ear, you will submit. You don't get to decide when to submit, respect, trust. If you feel safe enough, you will submit.
Yeah.
Ladies.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't decide that. You can decide who you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
You can decide how you move today to continue to, to buy domitutu siwaju ateletutu. When you pour cold water forward, you would step on cold floor, right? There's certain moves you make today that will basically order the direction of your life. Yes.
Sure.
But that you can control things right now, get people to just post a forgiveness and everything is right. No, that's stupid. She has resentment. She does not love this dude. She hasn't loved this dude in a long time, if she ever did. She couldn't. It was all infatuation. She was in love. Those are two different things. Being in love and loving a person.
Yeah.
She was caught up in the sauce.
Yeah.
When you post, this picture is beautiful. The picture we're looking at right now. When you post stuff like that and everybody is clicking those, like, every time they hit that like button, dopamine.
You're right. You're right.
Oh, right. You just get carried away for no reason. These celebrities, they have a lot of work to do. They need to have a coach and a therapist on retain. What do you call it? You call it retain? What's the word? They need to retain one permanently. That's what I'm trying to say.
Retainership.
Yes, permanently. Because when
they can't spend money on that, brother. Sorry to cut you. They can't spend money on that.
They won't. That's why I'm saying it now.
They need money to buy the designers or whatever to prove that the dresses, they don't repeat clothes, or they live in a big house, or they do this. They rather spend money on that. And I made a comment somewhere. That telling them that guys need therapy too. All those money you spend on your club, buying a zoo, buying a shoe, buying this, buying that, use it for therapy.
If you have more than 10,000 followers with more than half of them clicking like every time you post something, you need to retain a coach and a therapist permanently. Okay? I have 30,000 followers on my personal. Majority of them don't engage. I built that for something else entirely, so the engagement is extremely poor. So I'm not subjected to this, right? But once you get to a point, you're getting a lot of attention. 2.2 million monitoring spirits.
Exactly.
Naturally, you want to take care of those because it's business behind it. I understand it. But you need to understand that you need a strong support system. That's what the coaching and the therapy system represents. So that when you're bringing an innocent girl into your life who doesn't know anything about life, you can say, hey, coach, hey, my therapy, this is the event that's going on in my life. The person will say, oh, are they prepared for your lifestyle? Do they understand? Do you understand what's about to change with you? Because you're bringing another human soul into your life. Right? But she asked him for counseling. He wouldn't even budge on that, right?
He wouldn't, Niger. And also, where I got pained, and Mr. Brother Allah, I don't know why we normalize being mean as being smart. We normalize that's in Nigeria.
No,
Being mean
that's
and being
poverty.
smart.
That's poverty mindset. Would do
Let
that
me
to
give you
you.
an example.
Mhm.
Like when this thing just happened yesterday, people didn't have, our people don't think, they're not critical thinkers. Everybody cannot be critical thinkers, but at times you just still look at things. You don't need to be a critical thinker to
No,
see things
everybody's
from
not going.
different.
For a fact, everybody's not going to be a critical thinker.
Yes,
That's just a
but
fact. Yeah.
at times look at things from both sides, even if not vast, but both
Assess.
sides.
Yeah, you can assess things.
Yes.
Yeah.
When this thing just broke out there yesterday or whatever, when
Mm.
she said and he forced me on her, people were hailing her legs and saying he run her street, he do what he do to him.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, what did she do to him?
Yeah.
He ignored her for days. There was the only way he could just cut herself out of the picture, which was still immature, was to come online and say it. And
Yeah.
after that, she had made one apology before even this main apology. You
Right.
understand me? Which was okay. Then why are you feeling that what Alex did was good for Alex to set her up for Alex to manipulate her to put out an apology and then cut her off or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And you are hailing him that is good. If that person was your sister, will you hail the man that did it? If that person was you don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're hailing him that is smart. Run on street. See,
yeah, that was the. This is our third session on this. Our first session says, "Kick her to the streets." Alex, kick her. That was the first title, right?
Yes,
I was trolling with that title, yeah. But yeah, that's what everybody was saying. Basically, that's where that came from. Like, don't never accept her back. Why is she apologizing now? Well, on the flip side, right? To identify that this person does not love you, if they're going back and forth, you don't even love yourself, so they can't love you, right? Because people mimic the level of self-love you have for yourself, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't love yourself, like I know if this is true story for Alex, he does not love himself, right? There's no way she can love you. She's infatuated by the surface stuff, by the likes, by the attention. Because she's a model too. She likes attention. Hello. Can anybody hear me? She's a model.
She needs to like attention. She's the model. She needs it.
So let's keep it a buck, right? So this is but all these little things, I know we're talking about celebrity, but they happen in very crazy ways in our personal lives.
Yeah.
You get a little attention there and then you get carried away. Be guided, you might not need, you as a regular person, you might not need to retain a coach permanently or anything like that, even though they have programs out there like that. I think there may be a program. I'll see if I can partner up so that everybody can have something going at least. But the truth is that there's so much going on because we're going through a lot of changes as a society, right? That's where the gender war came from, right? There's changes going on. There's overreaction on both ends of the aisle coming, right? And people are overreacting. And when you overreact, right, or when you try to control narratives with talking points, it's the same formula. You hurt yourself in the process. When you try to build a cave around yourself, you build castles around yourself to protect yourself, they will cave in on you eventually. You will hurt yourself. You can't, because I know you will do Kerewa. It's a fact of life. Okay, so you can't really protect yourself. What you will do is end up in if not a divorce court, you will end up in child support court. That's not a lot of fun. You see how I sit here, Okomi Bale, I'm chilling, I'm gisting with Una, right? Imagine if I had to think about child support. That's not fun.
Exactly.
It's not fun, and regardless of who is right or wrong, it's not fun for all parties, especially for the kids that they have to change them between parents on the pavements of the courts.
Honestly.
Can you imagine what kind of trauma you're taking kids through when you have to do that?
Yeah.
So if you're going to do career, which I know you will need to learn this stuff. You need to learn this stuff. You need to look at the celebrities and say, oh yeah, a celebrity, their own is flashy, but it happens at every level.
Yeah.
Controlling behavior. Even yours is worse because it's not so obvious.
Yeah.
All right. Yours is like little subtle things, like, little subtle things. We will have some examples someday, but the celebrities are getting us some clouds here, right? But little subtle things like toothpaste. Like you not being able to let go of some of the flaws. You like this person, you were letting go of it, but it's 3 years into the marriage now. Now you can't stand it,
Yeah.
right? Little things like that, and then you're like, no, I'm not really. You don't see it as controlling, but no, it's controlling behavior, it's manipulation.
Mm.
When you know you're wrong, but you can't say I'm sorry. Now,
Can I give you a typical example of what you just said?
yeah, please.
There's a man, he's a lawyer. He was saying this thing somewhere. I was shocked, but people that he was telling were not shocked. They laughed over it. But I was shocked to my bone marrow. He said one day the wife called him. I think he was at work or he was wherever he was. The wife called him and was like, they just called me at work. Now I'm going to work. I think it was, I don't know the time, whether it was a night shift or whatever, I don't know. That he now said, which work? Did you tell me before that you were going to work? He said, no, but they called me that I should start coming to cover for somebody. That's why I'm on call. And their children are grown. It's not as if they have a baby. Their children are grown. Their last child is 10. So she said she's just calling to tell him now that she's going. You know what the man said? The man said before he drops the phone, she should go back home. If not, she should not come back to his house. The woman went back.
All right, so let's talk about that really quickly. That woman going back is not obedience. That's resentment that will come back and bite you in the butt, gentlemen, later on. There's a good chance that's not the only time you're doing that. There's a good chance that you're doing that quite enough time. The day she decides to dish you breakfast, it will come from a place that it will hurt really, really badly.
You are right.
So you might think, again, you think you're getting away with it. Oh, no, I'm just holding my feet down.
That she's obeying you. Yeah.
Right. But you don't get sense if that's how you operate.
Yeah.
You don't get Now, if she says she's on call, if you're, like I said, she called you. What if she doesn't call you?
Exactly.
Right? So it comes in all shapes and forms. I will find like maybe I will do like a 21 examples of regular level, not celebrity level, where I will point out some of these things, because you probably have controlling behavior if you're watching it right now. You probably have manipulative behavior, right?
That's right.
You ask for apologies all the time too. That's also bad. You tend to be the one to apologize all the time. That's also manipulative behavior, right? You're just very quick to say I'm sorry because you just want to hear his mouth. That's manipulative behavior. It will hurt you. It will hunt you down.
Some of us are feeling attacked.
yeah. It will. And they're all blind spots. All of them are blind spots. They're not stuff you could be intentional about. They're stuff that after you listen to us here over and over again, they will start becoming second nature. They're more like things like that. They're not stuff you can exactly be. I've decided I will not be controlled. No, that's not how it works. You will hear it enough times, and you will start your radar. It's like somebody buys a Toyota Prado in your household. Now suddenly you start seeing it everywhere. Why? Because it's parked in your garage all the time. That's the way it works, right? If you decide that intentionally I'm going to monitor every Toyota Prado on the road, no, that's not how that works. There are other things coming through your mind. But because that thing is parked in your garage all the time, it's now occupying a little space in your head that triggers every time you see it on the road.
Yeah.
This is how these things work.
Yeah, that's true. You start seeing it every corner, everywhere.
You just see them everywhere.
You're right.
So it's very important to understand that. Don't put yourself on that pedestal, you'll fall off. You can't. Intentionality is cute, but it's better when you understand that it's for emotional intelligence only. Okay? Everything else will fall on its face. But if you want to be intentional about remaining a lifetime student of emotional intelligence, because we're always learning it. And that's why I enjoy having you here, Ice, because we can have these conversations in depth, in a way that because when we're having conversation, people can comprehend it better instead of just my monotone voice. Yeah. So thank you so much.
You're welcome
for coming up. Please, you're welcome here anytime. And please, anytime you see anything that we can, let's keep going at it. you know.
Yeah, I'll chat you on the WhatsApp on what I want you to look into next.
Okay, no, Allah,
Yeah.
anytime. All
All
right.
right.
Talk soon. Bye.
All right. Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back up. Let me go through some of these comments. You guys are going in. Just Jay was going in, spelling out Kiriwa. I know. Just Jay, you know what Kiriwa is, right? Kiriwa. Okay, you're learning. I told you. Right? What kind of crap is that? No Kiriwa, major red flag for me. You even speak our language. Kiriwa. Now, Kiriwa is a necessary aspect of life, but it comes with a lot of passion. It needs to be contained. If it's not contained, it will destroy everything in its path. Okay, that's why I believe one of the purpose of marriage and the family structure. Okay, and just in case you don't know, there are nameless Kiriwa related diseases out there. Just so you know, just in case you didn't know, I don't want to put fear in your mind. I just want you to be aware because Kiriwa is a beautiful thing. Okay, all angles, all positions. And the year that started, make una strap in for this bump ride. Let's go. Tiffany, shout out to you, Tiffany. Yes, always learning when I came here. Yeah. They're lovely looking couple aesthetically, yes. So she will not want to let go of that, right? She wouldn't want to let go of that. That's why I don't get how people are so absorbed with celebrities' lives. Yes, celebrities, they just they are what's the word I'm looking for? The word I'm looking for, they're basically, what's the word I'm looking for? Bloom bloom. They put bloom bloom for basically what we experience, but it's like expanded, right? It's inflated. They're going through inflated stuff that we all go through. So while they don't exactly represent what we go through, it's still inflated versions of what we all go through. So we have to keep doing it, especially if everybody wants the gist, right? They get the gist, they get some lessons with it. You know, our men don't believe in therapy now. They think it's weakness. Well, here's what I found. Let me give you a new angle to that. People that are committing these atrocities, controlling behavior, bad behavior in relationships, people that don't want to hear anything, they can't hear anything, or they hold resentment in too much. They're not in a space where they want to build healthy relationships. If you ask them for therapy, they take it as an offense, man or woman. Okay, and they start feeling less than, and they overreact to it and they shut it down. Okay, both men and women, but you're right, especially men. Okay, because I was one of them. I was like, why am I giving $400 to randoms when you can make sense to me? Let me hear, what's the issue? What happened? I wasn't like that, but something of that nature. They deal with life just as everyone else, plus tons of people watching. Yes. It's crazy. I sometimes feel for public figures because seriously, it can't be easy. I am way too private for that lifestyle. Exactly. Nkechi. Yep. Nkechi. Yep. Yeah, I can imagine it makes things even more turbulent. Seriously, I understand. I understood when Kanye would attack the paparazzi. Kanye was not built for that life, that public stuff, He never loved her. She was in an infatuation relationship with him. Yes, at least not in recent times, Pure wickedness, control, manipulation on whose part, both parts. When you find yourself in a terrible position in romantic relationships, you will manipulate too. Okay, both people will manipulate, but there's a driving force, there's a leverage point, right? And the passive aggression, all of that, right? Because everybody's trying to be right. Anytime just think about the idea of trying to be right? Just think about that.
You're right.
All right, so she was lost in the fairy tales. Yep. Hit that like button on your way out. We're rounding up. Hit that like button. Thanks. Okay, don't forget when you're done, what you pick. If you remember highlights or aha moments or anything like that, leave it as a comment on the rebroadcast. I'll appreciate that because I'll find it, and then we can turn those to shorts to help us keep growing the platform. Please be in control of your emotions. That's really all you can control. Stop trying to control other people. Will it work? It can't work. Okay, they have their own agencies. If you think you're getting them, you're probably the sucker. We see the results every day. Yes, check the results. That's the only truth. Okay, even that is based on what you know at that point in time. Better keep quiet and talk. It solves more than destroy. Yes, celebs is plastic life. Yes, inflated. Blum blum. Blum blum, exactly. Blum blum is balloon. Thank you. I was trying to find the word inflated. Okay. Yep, I was trying to find the word inflated. All right, good. A PT woman in this kind of relationship, I can only imagine. Yeah, it's tough. But I'll tell you, men in this type of relationships, they suffer too. Just think about the idea of a relationship where you don't feel safe, right? Where you have to look over your shoulder, where you feel the need to control your woman. That's not fun. That's not fun. You're patching stuff. You're patching a wound, right? Yeah. Yep. All right, please consider doing your shows using Niger UK time. There will be more participation and audience. Well done, bro. Thank you, OJ. We're working on it, We're working on it. I'm working on it, I promise. Okay. I think I may be able to figure something out, Let's join the WhatsApp group. I'll share the link. The link is showing lolandola.com/WhatsApp. And then let's talk about that in there. If enough people are saying that we should move it to midday somewhere, I'll consider it, Maybe it's good for me to have some energy, right? Ola, have to go to bed. Go to bed. We're done. We're almost done. Yeah, Isai says, consider OJ request. Yes, let's talk about it. All right. This time was really working for me, 5 p.m. But what's the time difference? A lot of people are in UK, in Nigeria. They are 6 hours ahead of us, so they're late. Is she hanging on? I don't get you. I do not function well not feeling safe in a relationship. Most people don't. They will try to patch it, but they're just basically setting themselves up for eventual failure. Okay. Anyway, had a good time. If you're brand new here, make sure you hit that like button, share, subscribe. Go and download the book. It's free. You need to read it 10 to 15 times. It's our story. Okay. You need to read it 10 to 15 times. Coaching is available if you need a personal touch. We do generalize by default. Okay. If you're in a bad situation that is a crisis, you need personal touch. If it's stuff that's that you feel like it's by issue or life issue, you need a therapy. If it's stuff that you feel like you can learn more and you want someone to listen to your particular story, your personal story, then the coaching is good, because I'll be teaching, basically hearing your story and teaching you how to navigate this whole thing. All right. And you get 2 for 1. It's myself and my wife when it comes to the coaching. Okay. So because there's some things that women, if you're a woman, that women can relate with, that my brain just can't comprehend at that level, she can help with that. Okay. So you can find all of that through the link loveandprestige.com. Okay. Don't forget, join the Prestige family. Everything you do in life is about your feelings. Nobody give a ish. I'm trying to clean it up, right? Outside of their feelings, okay? Particularly with respect to these 6 basic emotional needs, okay? If you're in a marriage, if you focus on not controlling, but learning how to navigate these 4 things, navigate is the word, right? You will become couple goals, okay? Marriage goals, relationship goals, okay? If you have trouble with any of these four things, they usually have symptoms. They show up as finances, they show up as infidelity, they show up as irreconcilable differences, and you can't fix those things because they're symptoms. They're like a wound. They stay there, okay? But if you can dig a little deeper, we literally use this in our coaching, okay? God, purpose, and self. We use that in our coaching and self. God, gratitude, purpose, and self, the GPS. Prayer, patience, and a process. Nothing comes easy. Life is easier said than done. Everything we see on this platform is easier said than done. I really, really appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Hit that like button on your way out, okay? And let's talk about it in the back end about the timing. I can consider that. Let's see if we can make it happen. What time would you guys think that is better? I definitely don't want to encroach on my sister's time. Our time is usually somewhere around 1 p.m., 2 p.m. my time, and to be right. And I know she doesn't do every day, but I'd rather just stay out of our time block. Okay. Yes, that's code if you're wondering. Okay. But somewhere before or after, I think she's usually done around 4, which is why we do 5 p.m. So I'm not sure how well that's going to work, But let's talk about it. Let's see if we can make it work. All right. Thank you so much. Chinye, D-Love, everybody in the chat, every one of you watching me right now. Thank you so much. Okay. Shout out to Temi T. Thank you so much for the support, Temi T. I appreciate you. Shout out to Temi Lady Adams. Thank you, love. I can say that. Thank you, Temi Lady Adams. Thank you for the $20 super chat. I appreciate you. She says, thank you, Mr. Ola, for pointing to us. I'm learning a lot. Shout out to our new member, Fict Next. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. Temilade says, my potential partner needs to meet Mr. Ola for screening. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right. Mario says, that's my point, Mr. Ola. Putting on an innocent face and twisting the knife where it will hurt him. She outright called him gay in Niger. They are both cruel. She knew about his sexuality. Yes, because all that, I'm understanding that's BS. That part is BS and that's cruel.
Stop the cap.
All right. That part is not fair to him. Not cool. Hey, DL over there too. It's everywhere in the world since Bible days. Okay. They just don't tolerate it. And yes, you have to be careful out there. And a lot of people don't have the level of freedom they have here in America. Tiffany says, nah, I'm with Nkechi here. Dimla says, no intimacy is a green flag for me, Sha. Yeah, with respect to your particular story, right? It makes sense. It makes sense. All right. So thank you, Chinye. Chinye, I appreciate you. Ice Ice. You can do the same time as Auntie B, but a different day. We're doing daily here, 6 days a week at least. We're going hard. We're going to 100,000. Unless there's conflict in my personal schedule. So maybe you're right on those days that she's off. Maybe I can coordinate with her. But again, she, the way we set up the shows, sometimes it's off the curve, So yeah, I'd rather leave that out, Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Hit the like button, share, and subscribe on your way out. Let me check if we hit 1900 already before we leave. Did we hit 1900 subscribers? Yay, 1915. We hit 1900. We're going for 100,000. Hopefully, you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.